Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the UPL. We got it. We got the best here for you. We got slightly out of out of focus alt battery.
I'm literally not even in this universe at this point. I give up.
He's on another plane of existence. That's how excited he is here for the UPL. And of course, you got me, Travis T. We're here to bring you into the very beginning of the UPL, coming at you live. And man, oh man, we got a fun matchup. We had to switch up at the last moment. We switching it over to Harrisburg versus Illinois. And honestly, I'm pretty excited for the matchup. See what these two teams are going to be able to break against each other because we're still looking at the same group here.
Yeah, especially when you look across from them, it's just like, okay, well, you've got Mirage, who a lot of people have touted as being one of, if not the best team right now in Upsurge. And I'm looking forward to see how, Harrisburg Storm can kind of come in and maybe break up some of the monotony in this group. Because I think a lot of people who are looking at HughFest are like, okay, well, these guys, they were taking down my Maryville B squad, but I've got a lot of eyes, especially for Illinois, to try and show up tonight.
Yeah, and this is a very important matchup, right? When you got some juggernauts inside the matchup, right? When you got some people inside of the group that are looking with high expectations, being able to pick up the win right here before you actually end up going against those big teams that are inside of your group is very pivotal. So that's an excellent point to talk about with Illinois. And I'm ready to see what they'll be able to break out against one another. We're actually airing quite a bit early in comparison to what we normally would because we do have a little something fun for you guys. We decided to switch things up a little bit here for the UPL, and we're bringing you some hot and fresh content as that has been something that we've always been asked about. So we'll have that up here in the very near future. I'm gonna leave the grand delay. But it's the upsurge and the downsurge, and
Travi, I need you to give me some bitrate right now, please. So let's take a look at this.
I'll send you some bitrate. I'm sending it over to you. Okay, I'm sending it. All right,
please, thank you.
But we're doing upsurge, downsurge. If you guys are familiar with the show This or That, this is our take on it. So upsurge, downsurge. I love the logo, by the way. But we're going to go through and we're going to say who we have in our upsurge and downsurge. Me and right now we got Cloud and Infernal and some combos of players here. The Cloud junglers or the Infernal bot lanes. Which one has the up here? This is
look, okay. You take a look at some of these junglers. You got City Witty, Frost Forest, Hayami. I'm genuinely impressed by some of these guys. But as a bot lane player, I see Evan RL and Julian. Julian has did a fantastic so far on this support role swap from last split. And Meech, who is a fantastic player all throughout of Scouting Grounds. On top of that, with Andy Bendy and Chow, I think this is a very strong down surge instantly for bot lane.
So you're going for the down surge. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to say I'm going with you on that one. I think the bot lane looks actually stacked over in Infernal. You got Andy Bendy, Evan RL, Julian. There's too many good play. There's too much that's happening there, and bot lane's so important right now. I feel like a lot of people put a lot of focus down there. So I feel like I'm going with that.
That's all I'm gonna say. Send a really high influence ADC, especially in lane. You gotta love it. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Right, oh boy, let's go to the next slide here. As more likely to start 3-0, Maryville or Mirage here. Now, this is the main Maryville team as well. So we're talking Cloud Division, and I believe Maryville they Mountain. So
Mountain.
I'm very curious of this.
I'll just go. I think it's just going to be Maryville. I'll give it. Actually, I'll even say both Maryville squads will probably start 3-0 at this point. I'm less keen. Sorry, I'll get both sides of the but for Raj, I'm less keen on them being consistent enough to start 3-0, especially with some of the competition in their bracket. Maryville is just. Especially, again, taking a look back at HughFest, we got double Maryville finals over there, okay? There's a reason why. I'm more than likely expecting a really strong start for Maryville as they do every single split, and we'll see what happens in the back half.
Yeah, it's just tradition. Marvel is
Yeah.
it's Upsurge, just Upsurge. That's all there is to it on this
Yeah.
one. I actually have Mirage losing to TBA tonight off stream, so
Oh,
so
same.
I'm saying
Same.
I'm starting 0-1 already, so I can't go against my predictions. But yeah,
Exactly.
it's definitely Marvel Upsurge. Ready for the next slide here. See what we got. Some spiciness already coming out. Who is the better jungler? You got two four-legged freaks of damage out here, Hecarim and Lilia. Oh,
See, I was when we were coming up with some of these slides, I was like, okay, which one is gonna be the one that like I get travesty on? And I would hope that you were like super excited for this one, just because I know you like your cute critters. So
I
sure.
you're like anything that has anime eyes. I'm like, yes,
That's true. Yeah, exactly. Basically, just gotta water it down for you.
I do go for Lilia here, actually. I think Hecarim is the better pick overall because it is a flex pick. Because you can play it top lane, and I think it actually has quite a good bit of success in the top lane,
You
especially in
play
solo
Lilia
queue.
top lane. You're
I,
nuts, bro. You play
I
Lilia
I
top
do
lane.
play it. I do play Lilia top
There you
lane, but I
go.
think Hecarim's better in terms of that flex. I like that better. So
There
Lilia,
you
but
go.
I like Lilia because of the utility she brings. She brings damage and she brings utility. Like it's just one of those things. I think she actually has a cheaper item spike as well. So I think like she's cheaper to be able to itemize, which makes her
I
even better
guess.
for me. So I like Lilia. I like Lilia. I choose
I'm
Lilia.
just gonna go Hecarim. I'm just gonna go Hecarim. Honestly, I need to be a little bit contrarian, and Triforce is the bomb. At this point, I feel like Lilia is like just really disgusting, and I hate this champion. Better jungler, however. Yeah, I'm just gonna give it to Hecarim. I like this champion way too much, especially when AD carry immediately goes missing after a warpath into unstoppable. Like just throw up in my mouth a little bit. I hate it.
Just gotta make him go night night, man. That's why I'm
Yeah.
going with Lilia.
Yep.
Sleep is the most annoying CC in the game, so I'm giving it to Lilia because
unironically
of that.
very true. Very true, actually. Suppression is yeah. Hyper's got a point. Suppression is obviously way worse.
I still think sleep is the worst because you're just watching everything. You're like, I'm asleep. Wake up, wake up. And
I guess.
Work, but you can't hit your mouse too much. But we got our last slide. Let's see what we're at here. As better logo, the new logo, the thing Hyper blew up. Wait, I gotta say the animation's actually pretty sick for this.
Wait, okay. Actually, the one on the right's kind of sick though. Wait, this thing's kind of sick on the right. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait,
Like,
hold on.
I know everybody.
I'm looking
That
at
thing
it.
has more pixels than I do on my camera. It's kind of nuts. Wait a minute. That's kind of sick. I like that. I like that way more. Hyper, you should unblow that. Anything that gives Hyper more stress for me to like give him a little bit more crap, I take it. So I think the one on the right, I'm going for a hard down surge instantly.
Oh, hard down surge. Okay, personally, from a perspective, from a real point, I like the new logo. It's sick. I love it. I like the simplicity of it. The other one has a lot of stuff going on. But let me tell you, the particle effects on the one to the right, it kind of winning me over. So I'm just and you know what? There's nothing better in spite of Hyper. So I'm gonna go with the thing that Hyper blew up.
Yeah. Sorry, Hyper. We love production, except I'm not even finish that sentence. I'm good. At this point,
any chance I get to poke fun at production, yes. I take it, knowing that there is a risk on my livelihood.
Agreed. Basically.
Every caster out there knows your production irreplaceable.
I can hear slightly. And so can the stream now.
But with that being said, oh wait, did I get muted? Production muted me again. Production. See, this is what I was talking about. Oh, okay. But anyways, with that being said, let's get into the action here. Let's get ready to get into the nitty gritty here. We're looking at what is going to be a fun matchup between these two. We've got some storied players in here. Drudozer, one that I'm especially looking at, as he's been a consistent player over here in Upsurge and has been always found his way to be one of the better mid laners out there.
Yeah, very flexible. I honestly, the thing that I most know about Drudozer is the infamous Volibear days, man. When he was #1 ranked Volibear in North America. Really just it was kind of a meme. It was pre-work. Then I asked him after the work, and he's like, "This is just unplayable. It's just not the same. It just does not do the same things for me." But Nuclear as well. This is someone that's been kind of floating around a little bit, not to be confused with Dom1's Nuclear, but someone who's been kind of floating around for amateur, and I'm really, really keen to see where this team kind of lines up, because again, these are kind of a mishmash of rosters. Frost Force, we got a little bit of tape on last split, and High Key Savage was a fantastic piece of, it was Frostfire. There we go. Of the Frostfire lineup that I was really looking forward to see where his trajectory was going to go.
Yeah, we have a couple players that are like key components that have been in former teams and have been key components there. And I'm excited to see how they come together with some newer faces added into the mix and whatnot. I want to see exactly what the synergy is going to look like. And I also want to kind of get a read of what these players are. We're going into week 1 of the UPL. And UPL is a very interesting thing because we're in the amateur scene. And the amateur scene has its own meta. In comparison to, like, if you look at LCS has its own meta. You look at LEC, it has its own meta. Amateur scene in North America has its own meta, and it gets defined. It feels like you start to feel the teams. There's so much differential between the different styles that just becomes, as a play-by-play, I love seeing, because that means you get to see so many unique champions that you wouldn't see in other regions and other areas.
Oh yeah, I everyone was really loving watching Lobos picking up the Jinx constantly. We're seeing it there. I don't know what exactly we'll see from this roster, because both of these mid laners are definitely a mix. And for bot lane, I'm looking forward to see how Nuclear and Tempos kind of face up versus this bot lane here on the side of HG Storm, because Fizzy has been someone that I've been tracking for a really long time and has obviously, like we said, been taking a few spots here in the semi-pro. And I'm wondering if we're going to see kind of a large Thresh meta pop up, because we have a really nice pool of Thresh players. Paucus and Fizzy come to mind immediately. So I wonder what kind of, where we're going to develop on that. And going on that point again about, our individual metas, it just makes the first couple bans, especially at the beginning of a season, very interesting to watch, and sometimes a kind of a key telling stone for these teams.
Yeah, my favorite time, actually, when it comes down to like the groups and how they play out, is the very first game of the groups, and when they start the round, when they go around and start fighting each other again, right? Because now the teams kind of have a read of how other teams like to play the game. They've seen them play on stream and whatnot, and I'm sure some teams have done their scouting, but there's nothing like seeing what they try to bring in when it counts as much. And that's what I really look forward to, and I love the fact you talked about we got so many Thresh players, we got so many solo queue hero champions that could possibly pop out, and oh man, I'm ready. I love it. I love the current meta in solo queue right now. Actually, been playing a lot of Assassins.
I don't know. So. I mean, she's disabled for this patch, but Samira has just been like a warlord in my games. It's actually kind of nuts.
We don't play when she releases.
Yeah, she even got hotfix nerfed. It's kind of nuts at this point. Like, I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm losing LP for the rest of these days.
Just ban her forehead.
I guess we got some team solo mid players in the team. I know Drew is very flexible, but already a Zillion ban coming away, and
broken champion.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, you're talking to the innovator of Zillion top lane. Did it lose when Blippo played it? Yes, it did.
I was gonna say, Blippo might need a few tips from you, buddy.
He should have gone press the attack. That's all I'm saying. But secret to winning every top lane matchup versus Ornn.
Don't lose.
Play Zillion. Yeah, well, don't lose and don't let him assassinate you, because Ornn's an assassin burst mage. Seeing some of these bans flying on out here, we are seeing some people sharing the same opinion as you. Hecarim banned away, Shen as well, still a very strong champion even after some nerfs, and we also see the Katarina. So Harrisburg really puts focus onto Drew Dozer here.
Yeah, this guy is just an insane mid lane player. The Katarina is something that he's really infamous for. I'm more surprised to see that it's just so early gone, and maybe Savage just doesn't have an answer for it. We'll see. I think LeBlanc starts to rise very high in priority now that Ashe has been taken away by Illinois, and I'm wondering what this top lane meta is, because in this group we don't have fantastic top laners. I am not a huge fan of Tony Top. We've got CJ, we've got that here as well. Not as strong as maybe something like in the Mountain Division, or even, I'm trying to think, Cloud, if I'm correct. The top laners are not as aggressive as maybe some people would like to see. So I'm wondering where we're going to see. I think Jax maybe even starts to climb in priority as we see Lucian come in pick one here.
I love this pick too. This is very flexible as a champion that has found success flexing top, mid, and AD carry role. Now it's up to Illinois State. What do they decide they want to pick? And we were just talking about how he's a burst assassin, mage, tank. Yeah. When in doubt, pick Ornn.
No, I mean, it's fine. It does well. I wonder what they're going to pair for it with topside, especially since Shen and Hecarim are gone. We've been seeing a little bit of that flex. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're swapping it up. It is Lilia, so we'll get to see which one of us chose the right champion, even if it's in the wrong role.
Hecarim was banned. Lilia not banned.
I guess Lilia was the better champion. Oh boy.
At least my champion can get through ban phase, man. But anyways.
Yeah, I guess.
Illinois, they're going to pick up their next champion here, see what they end up grabbing for themselves. That blank spot is a Lilia, as we're seeing yet another Ornn hover. They did decide they want to lock it in this time around. So we'll be Lilia Ornn. Kind of tells you where these champions are going.
Yeah, but think of all the Ornn. No. Lilia are likely going to be that jungle spot and something to farm her out. We've been seeing the rise of Nidalee and Graves, Lilia as well. We want those farm junglers. Frost Forest, we get a little bit of a different take for him. Nidalee should do perfectly fine into this. Try to abuse Lilia's pathing. It's going to be really important to track both Gluten-Free Panda and Frost Forest here in this early game, see where they're going towards, and especially as we get further into the draft, where this Lucian lies, because they're going to probably going to have to play for priority in that lane. Braum starts to come up very large, especially when you already see the Ornn on the opposite side.
I was about to say, picking the Ornn so early, I mean, Braum's just seems like it's just like a no-brainer if you really want to lock it in, but the Volibear getting hovered and locked in, so they say, you pick Ornn, we'll take Voli.
Oh, God, we're going to just, this is, you know how everyone gets really excited to see Azir Corki? This is basically the same topside matchup every single time. It's like, we finally get to see Ornn Volibear. I know Hyper's probably done seeing this lore matchup at this point, but...
Yes. Scouted their power levels. He's done with that. But the Pantheon pick that could come on through, that's actually a very exciting pick. It's risen in priority and support, and it is disgusting if you're able to get it ahead. I'm very curious if they lock that in. That Lilia Pantheon combo could be quite devastating.
Yeah, and this, honestly, when you take a look at Harrisburg Storm, they have great poke as well as great ways to dive under the turret and try to mitigate a lot of damage. So on the opposite side, Illinois taking some both aggressive and safe picks. Pantheon can stall out that dive for as long as possible. Ornn does really well on that as well. Lilia, with the sleep that we were talking about, can make it very dangerous for you to go under the turret. So taking away some of the tools from Harrisburg, and it looks like they're going to try and continue to focus down into that bot side, getting rid of really strong lane, in lane, bot lane, and trying to get. I'm surprised Misfortune, because she's actually been doing really well. She's got a lot of buffs, and I'm surprised that she actually has been seen more. So. Yeah,
the thing I'm very curious about, though, is Illinois State, they're banning away Misfortune here. We see the Lucian, so that's kind of them being like, we think that this is the Lucian mid coming in. So they're banning away some things that they don't want to face. The Misfortune, Morgana, two champions that will run the laning phase. And over on the other side, Harrisburg, getting rid of some supports that they think are just annoying. They're saying, that Pantheon, we know it's going to you, Drew.
Yeah, they have a couple options. I think they'd actually probably want to just pick their AD carry here. I think Xayah kind of comes to mind if they really want to. Kog'Maw can do pretty well, has to have a lot of protection, and I think that it does, especially with the Pantheon and Ornn, but Xayah is just, honestly, when I take a look at some of these champions, okay, wait, I don't want to, I feel really, this is like a personal thing if they actually pick the Zed here.
Are you going to start, do you have PTSD or something? Here's the karma. You know what, on the bright side, you don't know where the champions are going.
No.
They can flex any role. I mean, technically.
Too many flexes hurts the man. Too many flexes hurts the man.
There's a lot of flexes out of Illinois.
Yeah. Yeah, and now that we're going to see, like you had alluded to earlier, probably Lucian going to be hitting in that mid lane. They want that priority in mid lane, allows Nidalee to kind of go where she pleases in the jungle. And now with Thresh here for Fizzy, I'm looking forward to see how they're going to be able to punish this. I'm going to just assume that this is going to be Karma mid lane, and it makes it very difficult for the mid jungle 2v2 to die. However, I don't see Drew Dozer being able to have much influence, and in fact, Illinois are very defensive and are going to be lacking a lot of damage if if that's set. They need some kind of upfront damage and a lot of it from their AD carry here.
That's a Jhin. That is a Jhin that just got locked in, so we're seeing Jhin get locked in here. We still don't know where some of the flexibility is. Alk, you seem a little disappointed. It's there. If I could reach into there, I'd give you some head pats. I know you're feeling it right now, but I don't know. There's a couple keynotes that I can definitely take away from this. We got a Pantheon in the mid lane, it seems like, more than likely. We got a Jhin Karma bot lane, I think is what we're going to see, the ideal thing once they move around. Caitlyn made it all the way through ban phase 2, which is another thing that I'm very, very curious about, because that doesn't normally happen.
She got all her good stuff got reverted, and she got an additional nerf on top of that. So she's she's fine now. But,
yeah, she's fine, but it's still it's one of those things where it's just like we're seeing a lot of different things. This is what we were talking about with the meta shifting. But Illinois, lots of flexing. Harrisburg, they did a very simple one-time flex.
Yeah,
very simple.
Yeah, keep. You know, it's the property of Kiss. Keep it stupid simple. You know, we're just we're gonna just send Lucian mid, and that's fine. When I saw the Jhin pick, I had to give a moment of silence for our fellow broadcast talent, Smacks. This guy hates Jhin in almost every competitive meta. He thinks that and to be fair, right? There's no top laner that loses to Jhin, so already you have some threat there. And Volibear is definitely not one of them. And when you want Jhin, it's like, okay, well, do you want it for this? Well, there's like X champion that does it way better or provides at least a little bit more damage. And especially with the Karma kind of paired up, you're just like, all right, we are going to just make sure that if Threshover goes in, we are trying to survive as long as possible. And I think the movement speed is really important for Karma. Giving it to maybe Pantheon and Lilia, trying to go for a kill lane in that 2v2, making sure that Pantheon can at least, hey, if Lucian, you want to provide priority, well, guess what? You're going to be missing about 60% of your HP when you do it. I am just not thrilled about Jhin, and I'm not thrilled about Illinois' prospects going into this game.
Well, you know, something that I'm thrilled for here.
What's up?
Let me tell you, I'm thrilled for something that will come a little bit later. I want to talk about the fact that this Jhin Karma, you know, you were talking about it earlier, like, man, I don't like it. You know, this could be a very oppressive bot lane if they're able to kind of CC everything together and chain their abilities together. Also, you know, Tempest, he's got that birthday luck. He's a birthday boy, and looking to pop off on the Karma. Hey, listen, this is time to shine. They put you onto a champion like Karma. It's time to make some people pay.
I mean, he's got a Jhin, so I don't know. I feel like there's like a birthday wish, but like someone else, like Nuclear came by and was like, I'm blowing out the candles. No, these are my birthday cake now. I get to play Jhin. So,
no cake
seems a little bit mean.
No cake. Well, let me tell you right now about something that we're going to do here. We're going to go ahead and talk about something fantastic. We're going to talk about something glorious. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Kono! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That is the place where you're able to get the finest of gaming peripherals out there. You can get the Headgears X1 that you can see on the screen. It's an RGB low-profile Bluetooth mechanical keyboard. Makes it go clickety-clack. No matter the game that you end up playing, you can do anything with it. You want to go ahead and get high elo in League of Legends? Sweet, go for it. You want to click heads even better? You can go to the website kono.store and be able to pick up everything out there. It's spelled KONO.store. For you to be able to get that. It's fantastic. They have some fantastic keyboards, fantastic gaming peripherals, and they help make everything in UPL and Upsurge possible. Make sure you use code UpsurgeGG for 7% off your first order today to make sure you just get to have the finest of gaming peripherals, because you can't game if you don't have the finest of stuff. So go now. While we take ourselves a short break, buy yourself a Kono keyboard, and we'll be right back.
Kono.store.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back as we are getting into the premiere of a new season of UPL. We got Harrisburg over on the blue side. We got Illinois State over on the red side. And we are seeing an invade here all to start things off. This is a 5-stat that could go really disgusting.
Yeah, and the thing is they have a lot of short range. They don't have a lot of tools of long range engage, like something of a thrush hook. So they would have had to, maybe force a flash there or get really close up for anything to happen. Thankfully, nothing does for the side of Harrisburg. And really, they need to get off to kind of a running start because they do have some scaling elements, but they will very quickly fall behind as more and more of Harrisburg is unlocked the later the game goes.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very interesting thing to take note. Oren, you tend to relate to the later the game goes, the more of an advantage his team has.
Yep.
Just because of how his passive works. But it's a very interesting thing to take note of is the early to mid that kind of desynergizes itself away from the Orn pit that you would normally know. Also, Volibear started the Doran's Ring, so those zaps, that lightning bolt is going to hurt. And
this
wow.
Okay, all right.
That's a double sweeper.
Yeah. Important thing here is that Frost Forest got the majority of that, so now bot lane has been set behind. I mean, you're playing Jhin, you're already sitting at a disadvantage, and now Lily is like hands caught in the cookie jar, and now has to go leashless to blue buff. Has to. This is from bad to worse right now.
Only got one chicken.
Yep. This is
that's the worst. That's
this
like
is
the chicken
opposite.
bucket was in front of you, and you only got like one little wing. Not even a full wing, just like part of it.
Like when like there's that joke of I'll hold that as, I mean, Drew Dozer's just now going to get punished out of lane. He can't walk back in through this way. He has to take the long way or take a whole bunch of poke on the backside here. Great job from Heike. This is like getting the opposite of getting 11 chicken nuggets in your 10 piece. It's like getting 9 or like 8. It's really painful for Lilia.
Yeah, hard start indeed for
Oh my
Lilia.
god.
And you can see Nidalee is just completely taking over the jungle. Volibear's priority is just led into the fact that your red buff is also gone, Lilia, so you are behind. This gluten-free panda ain't eating nothing.
Yeah, and the point of Lilia, right? We were talking about these farm junglers who do really well in the AoE camps. Well, guess what? Now Nidalee has taken away those AoE camps. She now has to do the Gromp on the opposite side. Lilia is super far behind. And really that's where a lot of the advantage for this champion comes from. So I'm interested to see where exactly this comes back. This isn't obviously end all be all for the side of Illinois State, but it is definitely really painful. And I'm looking for how exactly this mid lane matchup continues to develop, because right now the wave is going to push in favor of Heike. If he wants, he can try and hold this, but it is going to be on Drew Dozer to try and help Gluten-Free Panda get out of this kind of this hole that's been dug for him.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult too, though, because Lucian, like we were talking about, very mobile champion, is very much so able to get out of harm's way and is relatively very safe if he does not use his dash aggressively. So it'll be interesting to see what the setup could be, especially since Gluten does need that setup to try and help him out if he were to go for a mid lane gank at any point. And that early recall, by the way, Gluten-Free didn't get nothing but a Stalker's Blade on that.
Oh boy. And he cancels the back. I love it, Judozer. I'm interested to see what exactly this kind of development of the double sweeping lenses, because this I think is the first time we've seen something like this where AD carries taking the sweeping lens. You know, it does give a lot of priority for your support, and I think this is an important development because typically we would have seen actually either the jungle only start with it, or maybe even the support go for it. But this allows obviously for the early wards, which I haven't seen too much of, but I'm interested to see where exactly this goes and if this goes any further either into the series or into the season.
I also think it would be very impressive. This is like Harrisburg being big brain. They're like, hey, we've seen Illinois State, you know, they like to go for the cheeky invades. Frost Forest, stop it. You're bullying. Well, we have you on camera.
All right, so you look at some of the CS differentials right now, and Gluin is level 3 at 5 minutes. I think this last wolf should give him level 4, but Nidalee is just so far ahead, and the thing is that even with this gold advantage, the important thing to note is that Nidalee doesn't have an ultimate, obviously. So being ahead, at least in terms of levels, is going to do a little bit, but maybe not as much. And I'm still looking for what Harrisburg is going to be able to do with this jungle priority. Still hasn't gotten it back in for the Nidalee, so still waiting on that. And I wonder if at all, if any of this is really going to turn into either an objective or some kind of kill lead, because so far it's just cutting Lily out, and eventually she's going to get that farm and experience.
Yeah, Illinois actually, to talk a bit positive about some things that are going on for them, though, over here inside the bot lane, this Jin Karma has definitely found themselves being able to get priority and have been doing a pretty good job inside of this matchup here, as we do see Drake is up, but this back timing might actually come back to haunt them.
Yeah, Nidalee can do it pretty healthily by herself. It is an Ocean Drake, so I wonder if she's going to go for it. But like you're saying, the back timing is going to be a little bit awkward, and it allows for specifically Drew Dozer, who's now level 6 and is going to be very strong sitting with his Serrated Dirk, coming back. It is going to be very interesting, and I don't think we're going to see too much priority on this first Drake just from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I'm 100% agreed with you, which is a shocking thing to talk about because Ocean Drake is such a fun Drake to be able to grab as a jungler right off the get-go. As you see, Tempo's trying to get the advantage over here inside the river, but immediately is getting cleared out by this Nidalee, and we're seeing what could be a possible skirmish. Drew Dozer is taking a good amount of damage. It's going to catch a javelin toss. They're going to turn their attention back on over. It's going to be the calling coming on through, and that's going to be Drew Dozer getting taken down. First blood going over to him while we're seeing over on the backside. Frost is taking a good chunk of damage from gluten-free Panda. Bull Bear no longer has his ultimate ability. Is going to be going to a normal-sized bear. Here comes the call of the Forge God looking for a big play here. Is going to be able to get 4 members of that. Fizzy mistimed it, and he will pay as the grenade dances upon them. Is going to find 2 kills going over to Illinois State, and now it looks like the side is going to have to back up. That you need to be careful about that, as the Lucian goes ahead and gives him a quick punish for overstaying his welcome.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is Ocean Drake if they want it. I think Nuclear actually just wants to get this wave in under the turret. I think they're just going to forego that, just grab themselves the early Drake, and what was looking like a really great start there for Harrisburg, they kind of overchase. There's no level 6 for them on both of their bot laners to try and lock down a specific area there in the river. So they're able to turn that with that level 6. Most important there actually was the Volibear flash and ultimate under the turret. I mean, Drew Dozer was already dead. There was no E for him to try and block any of the damage. So now you're missing a really important crowd control ability. So some misplays coming out from the side of Harrisburg. They get turned out. The enemy team turns back onto them, and Illinois are able to grab at least a little bit of an objective for themselves. They're still behind about 1,000 gold, but a little bit more than maybe what we expected setting up here.
And he brought the storm, but there was nobody there to witness it. And like you said, we also saw Fizzy flash forward, trying to do something unfortunate, but it was great punish from Illinois State there. That was absolutely great on their behalf. And, you know, we were talking about this, seeing how they're going to punish some mistakes could be a very big pivotal moment for them with this early to mid game power that they have with their comp.
That is officially the first red buff Lily has gotten all game, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, it's a proud moment. Babies first right there.
Babies first. Tempo finding out it's going to take a couple shots there from High Key Savage. Is going to have to back it on up, and that will be Herald that will be secured by the side of Harrisburg.
I wonder where they're going to drop this. They have a couple lanes that can do this. The most obvious here is just move down into the bot side, get Kaylin out of this lane, and try to affect the other ones. If they want, they could also do Volibear. I'm really interested to see where they go to drop this in a few minutes' time, because they have a few options available to them, and especially you take a look at some of the lane allocations right now. It seems, especially with Lilia right now, they're probably going to, at least for the side of Illinois, try to attack from bottom side, get Pantheon into this lane. For the love of God, use the Grand Starfall, man.
You need to find a situation to get it. The problem is for him, he's trying to figure out where's the best place for him to go to. The bot lane has been pushed in quite a bit because it's Karma Jhin. And over in the top side, Volibear just bat. So, yet again, not able to hit him with it. Drop a knee on their head. Not going to be doing that here today, as Jhin going to be able to lay out a good amount of damage. Nuclear going to say it's curtains for you. Fizz trying to block up some shot. We're seeing him go for more. Is going to have the Pantheon drop on in, but he's underneath the tower. Drudozer is going. But while on the backside, everybody forgot about the curtain call. But here comes Golan onto Tempos. Tempos is taking a huge amount of damage. It's going to be Stormbringer coming on in. It's going to be Tempos going down as Gluten-Free Panda get popped and everything being taken out there. Very unfortunate for the side of Illinois State, as it looked so good and turned out so bad.
You know, I was all right, Fizzy, going golden. I respect that. That's a lot of BM you got there, buddy. A little bit of a misclick, just like the misclick of going under that turret. I mean, we set up that Harrisburg had a lot of dive tools, and I mean now, for the side of Illinois, they're like, okay, well they're like, okay, we have to use the Grand Starfall right now, but
this is very interesting, Frost. You don't want to be so close to a Pantheon. Drew's just going to punish you for that. Yeah, you got some gold, but that is a little bit of a question mark right there. Got a little bit too happy about dropping that Herald in front of a Pantheon.
So some individual mistakes coming up from Harrisburg. Nothing too much to write home about, although I'm a little bit worried with some of the execution. I mean, you have to know that there's two people in mid lane. I'm sure that was just a small error, but important there. They weren't going to be able to take the turret with the people that were there, so a lot of gold going on to High Key Savage. But I mean, you have some scaling elements. I don't know exactly why we're making some of these mistakes and keeping some of this gold even. You're still 2,000 ahead. It looks like they're going to try and fish in the river for something on the side of Illinois, and I think right now from Harrisburg, you just need to clean it up. I mean, your jungle is so far ahead at this point. Your mid lane is dominating. I mean, every single one of these callings have been banger and have just been landing shot after shot. So player on High Key Savage, I mean, he's been doing fantastic in this match so far and not disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely on that one, as we are seeing this Caitlyn taking a little bit of damage there, getting a little cheeky on that. The Lucian, though, like you said, he's also going for the build that we've seen a lot of success on inside of the mid lane, going for that Muramana, and I absolutely love to see it. And that's a very powerful build on Lucian in the solo lanes.
Yeah, it's really disgusting, especially with just how well you're able to utilize it. I'm just really scared because they're on a ticking time bomb right now. You already had like some scaling elements. You needed Pantheon to get ahead early, and the Merriman, as soon as that's done, I think it's really hard for the side of Illinois to come back into this game and have any kind of meaningful influence. I'm pretty sure Dat-Dat's dead here.
Dat-Dat's just going to take a huge amount of damage, and CJ's looking to continue the chase. They're going to think twice on it. Didn't have the Stormbringer just yet. We're going to see Caitlyn have an ace in the hole, fire it on off, and that's going to be first brick falling over to Harrisburg for High Key Savage.
All right, so they're setting this up for the dragon. You take a look at some of the positioning. They're kind of caught. They need vision. They don't have a ward here.
Oh, here we go. Stormbringer coming on in. They're going to be able to get a lot of damage onto Gluten. Gluten's caught with no salvation in sight. Frostfire is going to be able to pick up that kill, and it's going to be the Volibear picking up the Pantheon. Drudozer's down, and two vital members are taken out, and it is going to be the Mountain Drake that Harrisburg will turn their attention to.
All right, this is where I honestly, I wish I had like a lifeline from Do You Want to Be a Millionaire? Can I call in Smacks right now? Because he's probably like, look at Jhin. Look at Jhin, what he's doing.
Well, talking about looking at Jhin, he's firing away. Is not going to be able to get that fourth shot onto the Thresh, as the Caitlyn is going to be able to body block form. And they are going to be able to back it on up.
Yeah, and even in that last fight right there, you look at what Nuclear is doing. He's doing as much as Jhin can do, but that's not much. Yeah. He's walking around fizzy. He's like, all right, look, I've got fourth shot, and I do like 600 damage at most versus Ran on this Caitlyn. And I mean, the rest of the team just gets blown up right now. Lillian needs protection she's very squishy, especially right now. It's going to be a while before she's even able to buy any kind of tank items, let alone damage at this point. So Lily needs protection, Drew needs protection, and Dat, who's just on a recall because of that trade in mid lane. And at that point, if you're Illinois, just give up the Drake and look for something, or just try to stall and cut down the bleeding. And it is just going from bad to worse right now for them.
Yeah, it's a hard situation for them to be inside of. The Pantheon hasn't been able to find success on the side lanes, hasn't been able to pop off too hard. Gluten-free Panda getting caught farming. Drew Dozer getting caught over here inside of the top try. There's nobody else there to help you, Drew. He's going to go down immediately, and they got baited out by Heike Savage just being in the top lane.
Yeah, and this is just the strength, one of the Lucian, and right now what's happening because of this jungle situation. Right now, Drew Dozer can't go to a side lane. He's not strong enough to face Lucian, so what does he do? He's like, all right, well, I can't side lane. I can't really assassinate anybody right now. So you have multiple members of Illinois kind of stuck waiting for more items and more gold, which I don't think are going to happen, or at least in a timely enough fashion that's going to be meaningful for this team. As another Rift Herald goes down, Harrisburg are doing a fantastic job controlling the map. I've actually, kind of a side note, Heike has been doing fantastic, but CJ with absolute control on this top side just allowed Frostfortis to run over this map.
Yeah, he's been lane bullying, honestly, and it's been beautiful to see. And you were talking about it in the draft, how the this team composition is very much so very powerful at being able to siege objectives. And, when they got control of the map like this and such a huge gold lead, proactivity is what favors the siege composition, and they've got all the proactivity in the world right now.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. Lucian loves being proactive, and even in his short range, which typically tends to be his weakness, you have Caitlyn to back him up, which, again, when we're talking about setting up for objectives, has those traps to make it very difficult for a team that's based on mobility and short range, like Illinois, to get into the pit and get into these areas.
Let's see what is going to be the answer from Illinois State. They find themselves in a little bit of a hole here, trying to see what they can salvage back as everything is being cleared. And goodbye. Happy birthday, Tempos. You caught a spear, and it took half your HP. That's a death sentence. And Nuclear going to be able to flash out. Good flash coming out from them. We flash a second soon later. Would have been he would have had a sweet tooth, that's for sure.
Yeah, right now, I mean, for the side of Illinois, they're gonna have to look for picks, and specifically stuff from either Nuclear on the Deadly Flourish or a sleep from Lilia coming in from a really long range. I mean, CJ's able to walk him out at this point. Exhaust comes down. Tempos is here.
Yeah, we're looking at it. Tempos is over here. They're trying to. This is 4 members going after a Volibear, but he is a big bear. Look at what you have to sacrifice for the CJ is running on all 4s. He's trying to get the heck out of Dodge. He will be shut down, but they're just destroying their turrets now. 1 turret gone. It's about to be 2 as the Pantheon just trying to defend against this Lucian in Italy. But it's going to be an inhibitor tower that's going to fall while this is all happening. Thresh is soloing with the Caitlyn. He's over there in the mid lane, just taking another tower. That is 3 towers in exchange for 1 bear.
I mean, you just got to look at some of these lanes, specifically Heike Savage with a 60 CS lead at this point at 17.5 minutes, about what we were expecting for this matchup. But man, even in Illinois' best plays, you have, I mean, Karma got the kill there, so it's just really painful. And it takes so long for them, like we saw, to just try and kill Volibear. And at this point, they're at that point in the match where it's just desperate hour. They're in the final hour. They need to get kills. They need to be getting whatever gold they can. But at what cost, right? It's a super Pyrrhic victory right there for the side of Illinois. And at this point, like, how do they contest the map? I don't know. I don't think that there's many options for them. It's going to take a lot, and specifically it's going to take Harrisburg kind of making a bunch of really big mistakes, which, to be fair, we've seen some of them so far, and I think if there's ever a place to do it, it would be at something like a Baron or, a Dragon, potentially.
Yeah, but the thing about Harrisburg is those were early game blunders, and ever since then, it seems like they kind of hit themselves on the head a couple times.
Yeah, it's hard to throw an item lead like this. It's hard to throw an item, I have to say, probably.
Their coach threw something at it. It's like, stop it. Stop what you're doing. They're just remembering they don't want to have the coach's wrath come upon them, as you're seeing yet again this focus going over here to the top side, trying to see if they can get over onto this Volibear, but this time Harrisburg is in the area. Oh, Turdozer. He's going to find him in Italy. Not going to be able to get him. That is going to be the curtain call coming on in. He's going to go golden. Hikey Savage taking a good amount of damage. It's going to be Frostborn getting the heal and is going to be able to stay alive. What looked like a pick ends up as nothing for the side of Illinois. And after all of that said and done, Harrisburg is still taking the jungle.
You know, it's a really sad moment when you're playing Ornn and you don't even have enough experience to upgrade your own items.
Yes.
He's sitting on the saddest Abyssal mask ever made for this champion right now. And we saw there, Drudozer's not able to do anything in any of these fights. He's like, I've got a single Youmuu's, and Nuclear is like, please, I hate playing. Any AD carry will tell you, I hate playing against Italy, but probably Jhin is one of the worst champions to play against this. It's like, okay, cool, I want to set up. I want to be, you know, I want to be a sniper. I want to get set up in my canopy. Then there's a spear that hits me for 90% of my HP. All right, I'm going home.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going home.
I thought season 3 Nidalee was gone. I didn't want the nuclear spears coming in anymore, but he's still getting nuked all the same. Now Hikey Savage is going to be finding himself a victim, possibly. No, it's going to be that getting out of there. So he's going to sit for a little bit. He knows that the wave's going to get pushed in, and just try and catch as much farm as he can.
Speaking of season 3 Nidalee, you know how like same thing with the property of matter. Matter is never destroyed. It's just recomposed into different things.
Yes.
Nidalee spears. They were taken away, but they're actually applied to Nautilus hooks. So I had to think about it. I was like, those things are massive, and they're like, oh my god,
talking about something massive is the amount of damage that just came out, and here we go, Hikey. You got a little too hypey. Shutdown going over to Drudozor, and that's going to be a good catch, I would say, coming out from the side of Illinois.
That's exactly what I wanted to see. I have no other words. I have no bad mouthing to say about Illinois. I have no backhanded compliments for them. That was exactly what I wanted to see. You make it an extremely long lane. You make sure that, hey, Hikey Savage, if you want to step into this, well, guess what? Now we have a side lane threat in the Ornn with the ultimate, and they correctly use Pantheon ult. So a lot of gold just went over to Pantheon. It is only about 450 for the kill bounty, so you're still down 3,000 gold. Not only that, but also the experience differential between the two. It's about a level.
Yes.
So, but still, great work, and especially with where the lane state is right now, I think that things like that can happen multiple times. It's just going to have to be really hard curbed by the side of Harrisburg to make sure they have vision implanted fast enough for this. Hold up.
Well, there's something. CJ is looking to bring the storm. He's jumping into 3 members. He's taking a good amount of damage. He's going to go night while over on the other side. Orange trying to see if he can get the knock up on anybody. Not going to be successful at that. Nuclear going to be able to lay out a little bit of damage, but CJ, he's so tanky. He's so easy for him to survive all of that. He will just walk away and go get his HP on back at the fountain.
All I saw at the beginning of that fight was, you know, obviously the Volibear comes in, but then the sneaky Nidalee spear just 40% off of Lily instantly. It's like, all right, well, Lily is not interacting. She has a hard time interacting with a lot of ranged champions, typically very good into melees. And this is definitely not the matchup she wants to be in, where she's like, all right, well, guys, I'm running away. It probably matches her personality because of just how like shy she's supposed to be. I mean, considering one of her spells is watch out Eep. I know that's one of your favorites.
Yes, as a play-by-play commentator, Riot yet again has outdone themselves with their skill names that I have to say really fast. I feel like actually, you know the song Boom, Here Comes the Boom? That's how I feel like I need to say watch out, Eep.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's how I've had to adapt that skill name. I'm singing Here Comes the Boom when I try and say that name inside of a fight. Desperate times, man.
I mean, talk about desperate times. You're over here for Illinois. You're like, all right, well, we got to make another pick. We've got to claw ourselves back out from a 7,000, almost 8 to 9,000. You look at itemization differential. I mean, you have a dragon coming up in 30 seconds. That is going to be the soul point. I'm assuming that
no, it's not.
Is going to
not soul point just yet, because the first dragon was secured. And I was actually about to say they delayed everything there by Illinois State. I think that's actually a big thing to take note of is Harrisburg, they can let another dragon go if they like. It is a Cloud Soul. They actually have that option to wait until soul point. They can
okay, yeah, sure. I meant like they're at the point where it's like, okay, well, now you have to fight us for every Drake or else.
Yeah. I get you.
I'm actually really interested here. I'm kind of perplexed a little bit because I would have thought that Harrisburg, they would have turned up the tempo a little bit. They've kind of stalled out a little bit, and the fact that we're actually getting to a Cloud Soul in general is really surprising considering that early game, the first 20 minutes of this. I wonder what's going to happen with Pantheon because he's not doing too much. Finally, Ornn has upgraded some items, and they might be looking for a pick here in Fog.
Yeah, they might be because they know Baron's the next neutral objective, and they do have to contest this one. It's going to be a lot of damage getting put onto him. We're going to find himself going sleep. Good cleanse coming out from Heike Savage. He's laying out a good amount of damage with the Golem. Frost is going to be safe and fine. Drew goes a little bit too ham and a little bit too deep. Is not going to go down. And it's just going to be Drew getting taken out. And they're just trying to salvage what resources they can. And with Nidalee heal, this Baron looks like it's going to be gone.
Do you know how problematic it is for my Lilia to flash forward, get a double sleep, and then have to run back out and leave? Is so bad. It tells a lot
Death
of
Sentence landing onto the orb. What the heck? Where did Lilia go? It's going to be a trade of 1-for-1 here. Nuclear's going to be able to get the kill onto the threat. She's going to be able to get him. That was the 4th shot that will seal his doom. They're going to go for the call. The Forge God onto him. Caitlyn has to kite this one on back. It's going to be Volibear going in there deep. He's trying to see if he'll be able to jump onto Nuclear, but it's not going to happen today. They're doing an excellent job peeling him on off. CJ's going to find himself going on down. No, the heal coming on through. Now it's going to be the curtain call coming on through. Frost Force going to take 1 hit, 2 hit. Going to be able to land on CJ. Going to be able to spread those shots between all 3 members. That going to be able to pick up that kill. Now it's going to be the Grand Starfall coming on in. They're going to be able to get the knock up onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn's going to find himself going on down. And it's going to be Jen looking for the chase, possibly? No, there is still a tower there, so they are going to back it up. And Harrisburg, they're all but wiped off of the field, and it is going to be them looking to go for the Baron for a high Illinois State.
And Illinois, almost as if they hear my question, they immediately come with an answer. I think Harrisburg spent a lot of tools on that last fight, and if they didn't get enough kills, maybe if there's one more kill too for in their favor, maybe they're able to kind of make that trade and get that for themselves. But Harrisburg, they go down. Heike's having to flash out. No redemption, no steal on the Baron, but they can be chased out here by Nidalee and Fizzy. I don't think too much is going to happen. But, I mean, Illinois, they're clawing back into this game. They've got that gold down to about 4,000. They've got really long waves that right now Harrisburg can't seem to answer.
Hey, listen, you were a prophet. You talked about Baron could be a very interesting
Here's the throw
for
point.
Harrisburg to throw. Hey, this could be this point, though. This could be the breaking point. This could be exactly what Illinois needs to be able to find themselves getting back into this game. And I absolutely love it. And, you know, you've been harping on this, Jen, but Nuclear is putting in work here. Look at the damage coming in. He is really putting out the hurt if he's able to get his hands onto any of these squishy targets.
I never thought I'd see the day where 280 carries are getting out damaged by a Jhin. I'm pretty sure that Heike Savage is still doing more damage, but like in these team fights, Nuclear's doing really well. I mean, the Deadly Flourish has been fantastic in most cases. While the current calls haven't been fantastic, they're providing a lot of obviously the utility that comes with them with the slow and making sure to put down a lot of damage. But his auto attacks have been doing really well. And most surprising thing is kind of the downward slope of CJ on this Volibear. There was a few question marks from that first fight we saw on that first blood in mid lane, but these last couple of fights, Volibear has been almost non-existent in terms of usefulness in the team.
I feel like the Stormbringers is what we have to kind of question mark ping, right? Because he's jumping into not even the middle of the team. He's jumping right in front of them like he is like an anime main character. He's just like, hey, I'm here. I'm here to fight.
He's got to do the hero entrance.
He's doing the hero entrance, but he doesn't have any soundtrack playing. It's actually just a sad rainy day, and that's the worst song you want to hear. That's the worst weather you want to have when you're an anime character making your big debut, because that means that's your death scene. That's when the death flags start going, and we've been seeing that with Volibear.
It's the worst episode. You're like, all right, well, someone's leaving the anime. You know, this is
somebody's dead.
We might see them in the, basically.
We're having a funeral next episode.
Oh boy. I want to take a look at how much longer they actually have on this. I just want to make sure. Okay. You do have a dragon coming up in the next 50, and it's not of too much importance on the opposite side. I mean, Cloud Drake for Illinois State is not incredibly useful. I mean, you look at maybe Lilia, who has a very low cooldown on her ultimate, by the way, which is kind of disgusting. But they just want to try and take away the Cloud Soul, which for Volibear is just nuts. It's just absolutely disgusting. The Baron should be running out alongside the timer for this dragon. I wonder what's going to happen. We even see Drew Dozer sitting on this side lane. You look at some of the turrets right now. Harrisburg have not been doing anything with them in the last 10 minutes.
There's been
Last
no
10 minutes have
proactivity.
Actually, they've been fighting. They've been trying to get what they can, but I mean, now we have the situation.
You want to hear a fun stat here? Oh,
All right,
I'll give you a fun stat.
Give me the stat. Give me the stat.
The inhibitor tower was taken out 10 minutes ago. Down in bot lane. They haven't done anything with that since. Just to add a little bit of context for the viewers there. They took an inhibitor tower 10 minutes ago.
I guess Wolverine has a point then. You just never take outer turrets. It's really cringe to do that, apparently. So hats off to Amateur's best analyst right there, you know? Never take outer turrets, and boom, you got a winning situation. Harrisburg are in this really awkward situation now. I mean, even when they know that 3 or 4 members are bot side, Heike Savage cannot stay here long enough to take this turret. So you said it yourself, 10 minutes ago, they took this inhibitor turret, and lo and behold, there's still an inhibitor that has never had to respawn.
And they still haven't broken open the base. We also got to talk about the fact of itemization that's coming out from this team, right? So we have a full tank Volibear. Nidalee is always known to fall off in terms of damage. Look at what the Lily has gone.
Why is there a Morello Namicon here?
She has a Marilla Namicon here. She hasn't gone Athenes at all, which is the traditional, like, second or third item that you see on Nidalee's, or maybe even Lichbane if you're going for that damage. But this is very
double 80 carry.
Nuclear. Nuclear's going for the curtain call. He's going to find himself getting flanked by Frost. Frost's going to have to think past that as Pantheon dives on in. That was a very scary situation. Now Frost is going to find himself getting caught up here. He's going to have the knockup coming on in. It's going to be taken out, and that's what you get for trying to jump on our Nuclear. He is going to be able to take that, and yet again, another mistake coming out from Harrisburg, trying to figure out a way to control this Jhin. 5-0-4 here, and is absolutely dictating these fights.
Look, itemization is hard, but Morello Namicon, I'm not going to even bother kind of fancying the stupid, like, Morello Namicon itemization argument, but, like, you have double 80 carry. Just go supportive Nidalee. I get it. You got ahead early. I'm very proud of you. Very happy for you, honey. But just go for this damage build. Fine, you want to get the Zonias? I'll allow it. But, like, you have double marksman. You guys have Lucian and Caitlyn, specifically Heike Savage on this Lucian, who's been, you know, kind of a front runner in your damage right now. Caitlyn has had very little impact in a lot of these fights. The traps have not been fantastic in setting up for these objectives. And again, Harrisburg continue to slowly slip away from this game right now. They're trying to find this on the Dat, but
look at this. The lockdown comes in yet again. They look to punish if they can. Call the Forge guy going to be looking to try and go onto the Lucian here, and Nuclear trying to see if he'll be able to catch anybody out. But
look at the fat wave bot lane, and no one is bothering even to step up on that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hello.
Mullen takes a good amount of damage here. Fizzy's taking a huge amount. Redemption coming in is going to be able to get some healing back to the team, but it is going to be Illinois looking to turn it around. The bellowing breath is going to be all you heard. Drew Dozer going to try and jump on the Heike. He's going to be able to cleanse that. He's over here into the bat side. They got to watch out how they play this fight. Is the Jhin looking to front line, laying out the damage for him. He's going to be able to find a kill onto the Thresh. It's going to be a double kill that comes on out for him. He is looking to turn it around, get some healing going his way, and Tempo looks to get him with the Ignite. Frost goes down, and Heike Savage, you gotta be careful about Nuclear. Comes up to him and just smacks him down. No fourth shot needed, not from that HP. And only Volibear is left to defend this tower now.
So I think Heike Savage cut the wave just enough that I don't think the game ends. Dad does have TP, and I think he's actually waiting for this, so they're going to try and protect this wave. I would have maybe liked to have seen that redemption onto the cannon wave, try to just get it as much. CJ doing the correct thing here, cutting the wave.
Here we go. That's the TP coming on in, and CJ, you go down. Ace going over for the team. Now it's going to be that. He is tanky as can be. He's got this cannon minion. We're going to see the death sentence, but it only connects onto the Ornn. Illinois looking to see what they're going to be able to grab here. They had a sloppy early game, but you know what? It's all about the end game, baby, as they're going to be looking to take this Nexus. They just need one more shot, and they will be able to grab it. Illinois take game 1 over Harrisburg.
Okay. I guess Smacks, see your words. It definitely must have been Jhin. It was 100% the Jhin pick. It was a Jhin difference.
9-0-5 on the Jhin.
Yeah, they were not able to properly look at the team.
Nuclear hard, like
I know. I don't know if we could show damage. I think Hyper we can't, but this is just 30,000 damage. The next most is 18,000, and that's Heike Savage. props, by the way, to Mr. Marquez, Mr. Heike Savage. He was trying his heart out and was the best performing player on this team by like a country mile. However, that was one of the most spectacular game throws I've ever seen in my entire life. Like,
honestly, it was nuclear.
season.
Hey, listen, man, Nuclear, he's got some room on his bus. If you're a fan now, you can ride along with him. He smashed, man. I mean, that's a big thing to take note of with Nuclear. He absolutely, not only did he do well inside of laning phase, he was the only lane that actually was able to do well inside of the laning phase, but he transitioned that. He was frontlining as Jhin and just one-shotting fools. Like, the team is full of so many squishy people, and then the Volibear couldn't find the angle that he wanted to engage. So it's just Nuclear was just like, okay, that's cute. You're gonna get hit. I'm gonna root you, and the rest of my team will deal with you. I'm gonna go kill the squishies again.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him in that last fight, right? Like, he's running towards the front line, and then he's like, okay, well, I have a Lucian behind me. I'm gonna go back, handle him. We're gonna kill him, and then we're gonna go end the game. Doesn't even matter. Like, at this point, you're talking about, hey, if anyone wants to get on the train right now, Drew Dozer got in the backpack that game. He was just like, all right, I'm here for it. I'm here for Nuclear. Thank you. Dat did a really great job kind of playing weak side, top side. He got punished a lot for it. And I think CJ in the beginning playing really heavily around Frost Forest is what we're going to continue to see from this Storm team. But man, I have a lot of questions here for Harrisburg Storm. And I wonder what we'll see from the mid lane pool, because again, Drew Dozer got kind of taken advantage of here, and I wonder if we'll see maybe something a little bit different to try and pair up with Lilia again, and what side selection they go for, because I really do believe that blue side is going to be very important for the side of Harrisburg Storm, depending on what we see from them going forward.
Have to see exactly what the cards go. We'll have those questions hopefully answered in the next game. We're going to take ourselves a short break, but ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere here. We do have a little bit of a teaser here for you. So why don't you guys go ahead and check that out, and we will be taking ourselves a short little break here and checking everything out. Don't go anywhere.
And 100 Thieves next will be your UPL Summer 2020 champions.
Now turns it around with one. He might just turn around with two. He's going to be slaying Raj.
In the pentakill! Kesby and Tenacity may have left 100 Thieves, but the spirit of 100 Thieves lives on in the new jungler!
Fight coming in from Rodep. Looking to see who they can lock down. It's going to be Kesby who dies versus Rodep falling out.
Oh!
Wow, what a shockwave coming in from Fire. Puppy is going to go down to the grave.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to UPL. We just got to see Game 1 come out with what was a very, very fun match here that we got to see in this last game. A lot of mistakes, a lot of capitalization coming out. Alk, what do you have to say for yourself here, man? We're going into the game.
What do I have to say? I didn't play the game. I mean,
no. You hated on the Jhin, on Upsurge and Downsurge. You said Hecarim was a better jungler.
I will concede if Hecarim was in Lilia's spot there, I'm sure Hecarim would have actually done absolutely nothing. Probably would have been really sad.
Thank you for bringing this back up. Do you want to pick again? Would you like to take another chance? I'll let you have another chance. We'll let you have a redo.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll take the Lilia.
Okay.
I will not sin anymore. I will pick Lilia.
Here's the thing, Alk. When in doubt, you go for the uwu eyes. That's all you need to do.
No,
Lilia got them uwu eyes. That's what you go for here. We're going right back into Chancellor. We're firing right into it. Illinois State starting this off with a 1-0 advantage for themselves. And I think they might say we might need to focus some of these bans away from Drudozer and back on Nuclear, because Nuclear was so freaking clean that game.
I don't know if I have to bench in every game. I'm probably there's probably more. There's like a systemic issue probably going on. So I think that they'll probably just stick with some of the same answers. Maybe kind of switch up what happens in bot lane. Maybe even having Frost Force kind of show up bot lane once or twice. God forbid we actually gank a lane. I'm expecting some more hard engaged supports to come out here, because we're gonna probably see the same bans. Or it's Zillion against Tempos and Drudozer, Katarina as well, and a Shen and Hecarim ban on the side from Illinois. I
feel like that's just standard, right? And Harrisburg, they did try something that was very interesting. They had a good idea behind it. Had that siege composition. However, of course, we got to see that when it came down to siege, they didn't do any of that. So
they might change it, and then they stopped doing it instantly after 20 minutes. All right, we're done.
They were like, "Oh, time out. All right, we're out of here." The Rakan ban actually coming out from Harrisburg, though. They don't want Tempos to be on that Rakan here. So Illinois State, we'll see what they grab. Camille would be a very curious first pick. That's that laying down the gauntlet, but
there it is.
Best four-legged jungler in the game here.
I'm gonna put a pin in that. I don't know if I 100% agree with that. I'd have to think about it. But we're not even going to see her. We're not even see her here for Glade Free Panda. We're just going to see the Graves come out. A couple more options. Again, Nidalee here for Frost Force's potential. He didn't look bad on it. Oh no. Ivern actually has received a few buffs in a row a couple matches ago, but I'm not super keen on it, and I want to see something different from CJ. I think Harrisburg Storm can do a lot more with this top laner, especially with how willing he is to just push in his wave and roam with his jungle. That was the best thing that we saw from this Harrisburg lineup so far tonight. And I would love to see what happens if we actually see him on something that is not as ultimate reliant when it comes to landing it, specifically on Volibear. I think the Volibear skill shot is a little bit hard to land sometimes, so give us something that's a whole lane on the Ornn.
Yeah, it's a whole lane long. It goes all the way to the fountain if you really believe, but they were going to see the Ornn coming on in, and it is going to be the answer with the Camille, a very big champion, rised in popularity here as of recent, and especially inside of competitive. And a really strong pick in some of these tanks. Kayn being hovered.
Kayn not going anywhere because we have Graves. Unless it's Graves top lane.
I was really confused for a moment there. I was like, wait a second, this could be a Kayn.
I don't know if Illinois have the dark tech of going Graves mid lane into Lucian. I don't know if they're quite ready for that, but they're just gonna pick up the Orianna, try and bully her out. I think this is really interesting. Since we know it's probably going to be Lucian mid, and again the question of where is Braum? Where's our Ferelioidian Superboy coming in? I am hard pressed to see. It would mean that maybe Ezreal gets picked up and you could just kind of leave the lane, let Braum go to another lane somewhere else, mid lane, hopefully get Heike Savage ahead.
But check this out though. Like we got a little bit of a switchy do here. We got the farming jungler that likes to go into your jungle and invade everything, going Graves, and we got ourselves another Lilia, but this time it's on Harrisburg Storms. So definitely a different switch up between these two here as we're seeing these bands come out. No Jhin! He's out of here!
All right, Nuclear, pull it out. Let's see what kind of low win rate AD carry you can pick out this time.
Show me the Twitch!
You know, maybe. I don't know about the Lucian.
Well, immediately a Twitch hover. Yes.
Hold up.
I was about to say.
Never
if I
mind.
call
We're just
Twitch,
gonna give
I'm big
Fizzy his
brain.
thresh, like we said. We're just gonna give him the thresh. They want to see what's gonna come out next. They want to make sure that. I guess they want to give this 80 carry counter pick as much. Wait, it's still possible. Look, they're on blue side. They can double pick Lulu Twitch here.
Lulu Twitch. Let's see it.
I don't think Lulu Twitch into Thresh is particularly fantastic, but I mean, Thresh really can't.
There's a part of me that just thinks production's trolling me with the Twitch.
I would hope that Hyper is not doing this to mess with us.
I'm pretty sure he is, because I'm just like, I'm so like, he's like, I can't let Travis think that he's Giga Brain. I gotta put him down. So Lulu, Kaisa, I actually think Lulu's really strong right now. If you can't play Karma, it's a very powerful champion. And with Kaisa, honestly, this composition is looking pretty stable, and the Zaya might get locked in for a Harrisburg Storm.
Yeah, I love Zaya. I talked about it last game. I thought Zaya was perfect there for Nuclear. Instead, he picks up the Jhin. But this is the meta that I actually thought that 80 carries were going in after Caitlyn got kind of like reverted and then nerfed. We were gonna see like, all right, well, Zaya's been getting back-to-back kind of changes. Kaisa's also looking relatively strong, and especially with how Athene's is still in the game at the cost that it is and just how effective it is, especially after we saw Karma mid being hard abused by every team. So Lulu, like you were saying, has been very strong, and I think can do wonders against this Harrisburg team. I'm still looking at Heike Savage and what they're able to do. You have an AD mid with your AP jungler, a lot of priority available for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Ornn is going to ever leave this lane from Camille, but
I mean, this is a counter matchup too, right? Like Lucian into Orianna. Like this is like they picked themselves into a matchup where Lucian is known to be favorable into the Orianna. I feel like Orianna just gets lane bullied here. So this is up to Savage yet again. Heike Savage, what you got? Can you put on a even bigger performance than the last game? Because now you're not against an assassin who can eventually one-shot you. You're against somebody who has to get the shockwave, has to have that setup. You find a lot more fear coming from a jungle presence than anything else.
Yeah, I am. So when you look at this 2v2, Drew Dozer and Gluten Free Panda are really difficult to kill. I'm assuming this is just going to be phase rush on the Orianna. You allow for Graves to now have a shield and be very mobile in these fights. Is going to have to utilize a lot of that movement speed. Great thing here for Illinois is they have fantastic tools to try and lock down certain members that are very slippery, like the Lucian and like the Lilia. The Lulu does a lot for them, especially with the Graves, and Camille is actually very dangerous for Harrisburg. Almost every single champion on this team cannot deal with a hook shot very effectively, except Ornn, but even then, like eventually Camille's just going to sit in the side lane and one-shot your turrets, bada bing, bada boom, get rid of it. So yeah. I'm worried for Harrisburg, especially now that we see this Camille, and that is going to have to kind of be a little bit more. It's very different from what we saw in game one, but I'm super excited to see what kind of comes out from here.
Yeah, especially because the way you use your ultimate as Camille is so important to how you play the champion. I think that's a key thing that we'll have to keep our eyes on. I'm very curious, especially because this is the type of composition that if you're running this, if an inhibitor's open at 18 minutes, that inhibitor's going to be taken within 10 minutes with there being a Camille in the game. Mm-hmm. Either you're going to lose that inhibitor or you're going to lose so much more in the side lane like you were talking about, Alex. So I'm very curious for that, and the team fight presence that automatically comes from this composition of Orianna, Lulu, Kaisa, Graves is also pretty disgusting. So I feel like it's going to be on Harrisburg not to make the mistakes early game like they did last year, the last game, because you know, if they make early game mistakes like they did last game, it's harder for them to crawl back in this game, it feels like.
Yeah, Zaya is really still strong, especially with how positional based Illinois is. There's a lot of champions, and Zaya is one of them, where they want you to come towards them. They want things like Zaya or things like Kaisa, who granted can reposition and mess up some of the blade callers, but I think we're going to have to see someone on Harrisburg that isn't Heike Savage step up. I think Frost Forest did about as much as he could do, and I need this lane between Fizzy and Rand to actually impact the map and take it to nuclear and tempos otherwise, I think we're going to get a fairly similar game to game 1. And CJ does not have the same priority that he had from game 1 to help Frost Force. So we might even get a much more dominant or at least equal footing at the beginning of the first 10 to 15 minutes for Illinois.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big question mark too. That you know, he got put in a matchup that isn't very favorable for him last time and found himself 30 CS down in laning phase. So see if that is going to be able to put up a performance against somebody who he should be able to, at the very least, you should be able to perform at an even standard. I would say that you should be able to beat the Ornn and trade him, but you know, Ornn does Ornn stupid things for sure.
I have nothing to say. I'm really just I'm in pain looking at some of these champions. I'm like, oh,
but it's not Jhin.
No.
It's not Jhin. And let me tell
it's
you about
not
something.
Jhin, but
let me tell you about something that's in for your eye holes that doesn't hurt so much. I'm gonna take this away from you. You don't have to look at this.
I'll take off my glasses.
Take your glasses off. You can put them back on now. You can put them back on so that way you can see it's UEA, the Unified Esports Association. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about them, the one, the only. Make sure you guys check them out. They have been absolutely fantastic. If you didn't know, we're dealing with a global pandemic, and UEA has been one of the forefront of esports to really make sure that the amateur scene is thriving and able to put out just high content, just like you're seeing here. Honestly, they've been able to put out some really good stuff and really have made sure that esports for the casual, the competitive, have really been able to still be noticed and taken care of, and have put together some of the finest events. You can check them out, uea.gg, for you to be able to learn more about them and be able to, you know, keep notes, keep tabs. You can also follow them on Twitter if you like. That's also a cool thing. I heard all the kids love to follow on Twitter. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take ourselves a short break. When we come back, we're going to be going into game 2 here between Illinois and Harrisburg. Don't go anywhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the UPL. We are going into game 2 of Illinois leading the series 1-up. If you're just now joining in, I'm Travis. I'm joined here with Alk Battery, and Alk, we're not seeing the same start. We're not seeing that 5-stat. We're not seeing the cheeky strats come out this time.
Yeah, they know. You know, Illinois is like, all right, this time we don't have to kind of get off to a little bit of a running head start. But I think 2 out of the ordinary. I like Grasp's top lane, but that's just me. I think Grasp is actually a really underrated keystone in a lot of matchups. And
yes, agree. I am very, very low opinion on Conqueror. So I'm glad that we're not seeing any more of those Conqueror abusers. Interestingly enough, though, Frostforest has decided to go for Dark Harvest. This is something that actually has about a 48% win rate in solo queue, but we typically tend to see phase rush just because of how well movement speed kind tends to synergize with Lilia's kit. So yes, I'm looking forward to seeing like how much damage can this Lilia actually kind of pump out. Yeah, I'm very curious of it. It's a very snowball-esque kind of way. And we saw this from Frost in the last game, too. We got to see him on the Nilly, who likes to try and get that lead in snowball. And you're even seeing, yet again, Harrisburg trying to go for a invade here. And they will be successful at that. They got wards down this time, so they will know that that is what they're doing. So they're aware. Gluten-free Panda is not getting grief this time at the very beginning of his route.
Yeah, so they're just gonna vertical jungle, which I think is really important here. We saw from last game that Lilia loves to have those camps that are chock full of experience, chock full of gold. They'll see each other here, like you were saying. They'll get the vision down. We're not gonna see the double sweeping lens start that we saw from game 1. But we should see a much more even keel Lilia. After Krugs, I don't think she's going to be healthy enough to actually go for a gank on this bot side, depending on how they set up this wave. So we're more than likely just going to see split up the map, and I hope, if we are on the side of Harrisburg, play around Heike Savage, either get him out of this lane, or just smash Oriana hard as you can.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the game plan, where you're seeing the Flake come out onto Tempos, lay a little bit of damage onto him. It gets returned right back onto him. And Graves is over here towards his top side. Could see a little bit of a gank here.
He's getting, I think he can go for it. This is a massive wave. It's kind of in the middle. And
yeah, CJ, you got to know that they're doing some vertical jungling here, buddy. They are going for it. That's going to be the hook shot coming in. You might be unstoppable, but you ain't unkillable. First blood going over to that.
And really just one beautifully played by the side of Illinois, but also CJ, not only do you need to flash, to be fair, he only has his W and his Q, so he can't actually eat. And a really great punish coming out from the side of Illinois just means that their top side is going to get off to a running start. Force out both of his summoners here, have a massive wave to crash here for the Camille. She can either go for that recall or, I mean, at this point, she's just not going to be punished all that much. She does have about 900, so should mean at least little under a Sheen, if not getting herself some boots. But getting Camille off to a great start is what I want to see from this Illinois squad.
So neither one of these junglers have reset here just yet, by the way. Gluten-free did grab the scuttle over in the top side, and it looks like he's going to be able to clear his top side camps that he left up for himself here, while Lilia grabs the other scuttle. So I think the bat timing is going to be about the same, while Lilia did get a little bit more farm. Interesting thing to take note of is the positioning of the junglers, and you were talking about Frost Force not going to be able to be set up to do an early gank in the bot side, but Graves, champion that's very healthy going through that clear.
Yeah, the amount of space he puts down, just doing a fantastic job. And again, Frost Force trying to at least punish as much as possible. They will see him now here. Really great ward, by the way, from Harrisburg, trying to make sure that, hey, if you are going to go for a gank, they can't do it from over the wall, or if they try to come in behind when a wave is about to crash. So really great job from them. But Frost Force is again going to be able to choke out this bot side. Kaisa and Lulu, by the way, not going to have too much influence. And because we're looking at just really great wave management coming out from the side of Harrisburg, Ran and Fizzy can very easily walk over and help if Nuclear and this bot side for Illinois decide to try to answer and invade by Frost Forest.
Yeah, and we do have a pause currently going on. There is some lag over inside the top lane. Poor CJ, that gank affected him so hard that his connection just dropped. He's dropping frames. He's dropping a lot right now. So see what that does turn into. That does have both of the summoners, and you were talking about it earlier. That lane is a tough one. Let's kind of go through the matchups. We're getting into that 5-minute mark here coming up soon. So we're going to see the first Drake come up, which is a Cloud Drake. I am curious on who really will. I feel like it's favored Harrisburg, right, to be able to establish early dragon control with the champions that they have.
Yeah, so Kaisa's going to be really weak in the early game. Obviously, you look at some of her itemization, Manamune, Rage Blade, Infinity Edge, all these other things, depending on what she's going to go. I'm going to assume that she's going to be going AP, considering most of her team is AD. But she will be definitely weaker against something like Azaya. And earlier on, Graves can't easily deal with the Lilia. So level 6 potentially can get a little bit dicey, especially with Ornn Ultimate available to them. This side for Illinois, I think the first couple objectives are going to be there, but I don't see as the game continues to go forward how much Harrisburg is actually going to be able to influence, because I don't think Lucian is going to have that same impact. Yet again, he'll step back into a really long lane, and suddenly there's a Camille in his face, and potentially even a Kaisa coming in with Killer Instinct. So very dangerous as the game continues to go on. But earlier
he's not as safe in the lanes now.
yeah. I mean, right now he's suffering.
Wait a second. That is in a bad situation there. Does need to respect the damage of an Ornn, and it'll be CJ reminding him of just that.
That was a little bit close. Okay. Okay, CJ, again, he's playing Ornn. He doesn't have the same max percent HP damage or the shielding or the unstoppable, but it is, still super effective in what it can do.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Tempo's trying to stay here inside this lane here. Doesn't really have the mana, but is trying to fight off this Xayah, make sure the Xayah isn't able to just collect plates for free. Oh, Gluten-Free and Frost are going to find each other. It's going to be a tricky situation here. Heike has the chance to jump in here and will be able to find him. Gluten trying not to give the kill over. Frost will take it instead. And that will be a kill onto the Lilia.
Very, very aggressive coming out.
He holds onto the hook shot. It's fine. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw it. Oh, nope. Stop.
Right, that time it made sense. So the reason he's doing that is he's trying to get this wave in a really good space. Yeah. That has to step up. I mean, at this point,
if TP coming, Orianna's looking to try and do something over here into the bot lane. It's going to be Fizzy taking out Tempos there. Shockwave not going to be able to connect onto Frost. Now it is a 2v3 here. Nuclear trying to see if he can cut it on that. Now it is a 4v1 all of a sudden, and it will be just Frost going down for the price of 3.
Ooh, that was getting really close, and more aggressive plays coming out from the Illinois squad are going to be punished by Harrisburg as they try to go for, Frost Forest and Fizzy.
Here we go. Headset Ultimatum coming on in. That is going to be able to set him on up. CJ, you don't have no mana. What you going to be able to do? Those legs, they speak for days and gluten-free. Got a shotgun with your name on it. CJ goes down in the top lane, and he's getting the top lane treatment here.
We're fighting for days, boys. We're just going to keep on fighting. We go from the jungle. By the way, can we just talk about how fast Lilia went from Raptors all the way and ganked bot lane? That's kind of fantastic, but getting more kills and specifically trying to get Drew Dozer out of this lane situation right now is just not fantastic. So far, he's actually done great. All things considered, only had to blue the TP in this situation, and actually hasn't even lost any of his plates. We'll be getting even the blue buff handoff here. So, all things considered, Illinois, despite some early hiccups, are still looking at least somewhat in favor. They're able to get themselves a kill for Nuclear as well, so at least keeping him in the running versus Ran.
Tempo, good dodge. Doesn't get hit by the roly ball of doom or sleepiness, whichever one you would prefer to call it. They both the same thing to me.
Isn't that a swirl seed?
That's what it's called, yes, but I like to call it just the roly ball.
It could be the Dozer,
not going to get hit by that. The Colin comes in, but the wall is going to be his best friend as Heike Savage can't follow that up any further. Drew Dozer does have to back it up and respect this solution. And Fizzy Frost roaming together very effectively.
I think it's very interesting that Harrisburg are going to be prioritizing the Rift Herald over the Drake that they had, especially with the bot lane priority. And with Heike Savage basically opening up mid lane and saying, all right, I can go wherever you need me to go, Mr. Jungler. So I wonder again how useful this is going to be, because last time we saw the Rift Herald was kind of a little bit of a whoopsie daisy from Frostfire as he ended up solo dying to Drew Dozer. And with the dragon going over, you want this ultimate as much as possible for a lot of these champions on the side of Harrisburg. So we're going to be getting an Infernal Drake. So this means that we have the two most boring Drakes coming up for our soul point. We have Ocean or Mountain, neither of which are particularly interesting. And Ocean Soul, one of the most egregious designs for a soul. Very, very powerful.
I think the players might change their are more than happy to see an Ocean Soul when it pops up if they're the ones that are in position to get it. They're like, oh yes, best Drake, let's go. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. Not the flashiest of Drakes for sure to be the one that we'll see here. See what will be the game changer on this one. Gold is still barely even, just a 800 difference between these two teams here. And have to see how this Rift Herald will come into play from Frost.
I gotta say, Travesty, nothing quite gets me more excited than seeing double tier mid lane. Just exactly what I want to see.
I don't know,
especially man. For Orianna. I mean,
I could say something that would get you even more excited than the mid lane.
Hextech GLP in this situation would have been absolutely banger, by the way. But I will keep my itemization.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this. Heike Savage going to use the culling. If collateral damage comes out, not enough damage into that, so we'll be fine as can be. And Heike Savage will be able to get out of there.
Yeah, just blowing flash for flash, really important for this Orianna matchup. making sure that Lucian does not have that kind of mobility is fantastic. As we're going to see, they're going to try and shove on this wave. Don't think that Frost Forest has quite been seen yet, thanks to some of the changes. Now we'll be seeing with the Swirl Seed. They're going to try and make something happen on this. They're going to grab that Rift Herald and finally get Rand and them ahead, get them out of this lane, try to affect. I'm assuming they're now just going to make this rotation into top side and get CJ out of this lane for them.
Yeah, that seems like the ideal situation, right? CJ is living in a place where Graves has spent him some very special attention here. They're trying to stop the Herald from getting the charge off, but not going to be able to do just that. Heike will grab blue buff, and we'll see.
Oh no, he's going for a reset as well. Yep. You're wasting the blue buff, sir. Oh no.
His HP was low. Yeah.
It's okay. It's the small things.
The small things that make you sad sometimes. It's okay.
Okay, wait. They could make a gank here happen because that hasn't backed quite yet, and Call the Forge God is available. Oh man, I got so excited for nothing. I feel really bad now. I have like heart palpitations. Man.
Yeah, he's got a lot of gold right now, man. He's gonna back here. The lane swap has came about. JK, it's just Lulu over there in the top lane. Kai'Sa's still in the bot lane, pushing away, getting that last bit of farm. Once the buttons are getting into this item breakpoint, because got 1,600 gold. I'm guessing that should be enough for the Muramana.
I mean, now this royally messes up Dat's back timing, because now Dat needs to stay here to help Tempos keep this. They know that Frost Force is here, and they can't really protect this turret all too well. So Nuclear, incredibly greedy on the back timing, and especially waiting that long to get a single wave, when in trade, you're going to continue to give this Xayah more and more plates. It's only about one, but any gold is still really relevant in this matchup right now. So, I mean, really awkward. I don't know how much is going to be punished off of this, but Dat still has not gone and hit his base. He has TP. Why are we still here? You have, let me just check the gold, 1,700 gold. Get your items, man. Please.
Yeah, he's got enough for the Phage, and you could go ahead and start getting closer to that point. We are going to see him go a little bit drowsy over here on the top side. It's just going to be Nuclear. Gluten-free Panda is here in the area as well. That's going to be able to catch out Heike Savage. Going to be able to put out a lot of damage, but the Ignite is there, and Heike Savage is going to be able to find a solo kill there. Now Drew Dozer is going to be able to find him with the Shockwave and grant an assist over to the Camille. A 1-for-1 trade between the two.
Man, I mean, that's, again, things that are coming back to haunt us. Imagine if Dat is back on the field with like Phage and he's just able to solo kill or even get himself like a ninja tab if he's in the situation. Chef's kiss. Beautiful. Would have been great up against the solution. But now they have to trade that. They not only that, but now you have double flashes gone from your solo lane. So a lot of mistakes and a little bit of greed coming out from some of the members here of Illinois getting punished by Harrisburg. I don't know how much they're going to be able to make do with this as just clearing out wards as gluten-free Panda. And Graves right now is very sad. He's like, all right, well, I just kind of want to farm and take advantage of some of the laning phase and make sure I can get some of the objectives, but hasn't been able to do all that much.
Oh, that just played CJ like a fiddle, jumping back onto him. This is the damage. This is not where you want to be if you are this man. He's going to find himself talking to them legs, gets a knock up before he goes, but that will find a solo kill in the bot lane.
I don't know why CJ is up there yet again, just being punished for being a laner right there. It's really dangerous to be up there, even with Flash. And I love that just kind of held his E, making sure, hey, well, I'll just go for it right on top of your Volcanic Rupture. Thanks for the free stun right there. It makes my life a little bit easier. So this does mean that it's going to be another Dragon going over in favor of Illinois. And it looks like the solo laners are kind of falling short here for Harrisburg. Falling behind, and Heike Savage, he's doing what he can right now, but he's kind of being failed by some of the supporting cast around him.
Yeah, CJ's having a hard time. We talked about him in the lane the last time, but wait a second. We are seeing him go a little bit drowsy here. Nuclear is going to be able to cleanse that, back it on up, and lay out a little bit of damage on the Frost, so Frost will retreat it on out. Doesn't want to fight a non-sleeping Nuclear right now.
That's... He got the cleanse and the heal, which was interesting enough. All right, Frost Force, just give it up. You're not getting Gromp, buddy. Like, well, I guess he did.
Yeah, he's not. But he's running away. He's like, I don't want anything to do with it.
How long can I really stay here without getting punished? Second Rift Herald is up.
Limit testing, man. Limit testing.
Now that the Frost Force did hit the back, they should just beat their Rift Herald for free if they want. They have enough, and especially now Graves is really strong. So it should be relatively free.
This is so weird, though, man. Like, look at this. Look at the gold difference between these two teams. Usually you see the gold difference switch around. You see the team that with the gold advantage able to be a little bit more proactive, but they're not able to find anything for themselves. Orange wrapping around very aggressively for this, but is completely by himself. Does need to be careful. Doesn't have to call the Forge God. Is going to get spotted out. Get Shockwave. Pull him back in. Shoot and pull. The Lantern will be able to save him as they do grab a turret for that. Wow, CJ playing with fire.
That was CJ. I mean, you're really lucky you have a Thresh on your team, but why are you there? Now he's gonna have to take another reset. Camille surprisingly hasn't been pushing this wave all too much, which surprising me as you see that there's 4 members here, and like you were saying, you have 4,000 gold in advantage for Harrisburg, but it doesn't feel like it. Gold is temporary. Objectives are forever. You need to
Nuclear taking a bit of damage. This is calling. That's all it is. But it's going to be a siege over here into the top side, trying to lay it on out. Drew's looking for the flank here. Not going to be able to catch anybody out with that. It's just trying to lay a little bit of damage onto the Zaya. That's over here into the backside. Could be a big situation. It's going to be a Descendant that connects onto Drew Dozer. Going to be able to lay out a good amount of damage. That's going to be the first storm coming on in. That's going to be Force taking out Drew. Now it's going to be the Orange trying to jump on in. It's going to be turned into a cute little snowman, but that's not what you want to see. It's going to be the Call of Forge guy going to be able to connect onto 2 members. Nuclear going to get chunked down super low, and it's going to be Frost Force. Not going to be able to do anything else past that, but this is the siege being successful for the side of Harrisburg.
Yeah, finally, in Harrisburg, most important part there is that they get rid of Drew Dozer, because if that ultimate lands, it is nights, it kind of lights out there for the side of Illinois. They will just instantly win that fight and land it onto 3 or 4 members. Just absolutely disgusting in terms of damage, but great job. And I really love the front line, how they played that one. Specifically, Fizzy in his Thresh positioning was really great. Not only is he interrupting a lot of the damage coming out from Gluten-Free Panda, but is then able to also block the stun from Dat, making it very difficult for any of the damage dealers to be stopped by the side of Illinois. And I mean, it's getting tougher. Finally, we might see the gold lead start to mean something, as we're seeing more and more of these turrets start to fall, and Ran and Fizzy having the impact that I wanted to see in game 1 on the Caitlyn, going to be seeing it now on this on the Zaya, just 2 levels above, even with a 30 CS lead, and has the items that are going to match some of the damage. I mean, Nuclear is just now going to finish his Rage Blade. He's about 600 gold. He's really far away, and he still has 400 extra mana on Manamune. He's far away from being relevant in this game.
Yeah, it's a bit of a interesting scenario to talk about there. Yeah, it's one of those things, but yeah, you're seeing that Moramana possibly being accomplished here very shortly would be very, very nice. And seeing the Lucian jump on the Nuclear yet again, laying out that Cullen, he's using that thing as soon as it's off cooldown to make sure he bullies Nuclear down.
Jesus. A lot of calling, but Jesus. I don't know if I remember that. That's a lot of bull. He is level 12, so
yeah, he's laying out the pain. He's got the Berserker Grease. It gives him a little bit of attack speed to add in there. Yeah.
Okay. They got the dragon coming up.
See what it will be. It is Mountain Drake, so see what it will be. First 2 Drakes are over on the side of Illinois, so if they do grab this is soul point for them, but it looks like the inside track is being held by Harrisburg this time around.
Quickly, Travis, what's more fun, Mountain Soul or watching paint dry?
Paint dry.
Oh,
Mountain Soul does nothing except make tanks stronger, and tanks are automatically snooze fest.
Yeah,
so.
true.
Here we go. We got the call. The Forge guy coming on in. That jumps in very deep. This is such a spread out fight, dude. Drew Dozer. He gets a huge shotgun. He's going to be able to get on the 3. That's going to be a big shot down as Zaya has been taken out. Frost Force dropped down very low. Gluten trying to get in range. It's going to be a death sentence. It's going to be able to connect, but it's going to be the Killer Instinct rushing on forward with Nuclear. They're going to be able to find themselves another killer. It's going to be Heike jumping in, making the hero play. He gets a double kill. He takes out 2 vital members, but he will go down for that. That is a 2-4-3 in favor of Illinois. And guess what, baby? Drake is up and on the table, and now all of a sudden they don't have the inside track anymore, and it's going to be them looking at Soul Point next.
4,000 gold means nothing. 4,000 gold means nothing at all, apparently.
To be fair, Harrisburg lost last game with a 9K lead at one point.
That is true. That is very true. Harrisburg showing off that gold actually means literally nothing at this point. As we reach the soul point, so we're one away, which means that now Harrisburg are kind of on the back foot. They need to be able to not only stop the next 4 Drakes, but they also need to be able to get this gold lead. I mean, I don't know what to say. Frost Force not having the same impact, and even though CJ is trying to play this Ornn, there's not many people. We're gonna have to see another performance like we saw on that top side, where Fizzy is blocking Dat's entrance into the back line, and there's just too many members you have to deal with. You have to stop the Orianna ultimate, and even then, I mean, now we're waiting for Nuclear, who is slowly getting into that point. I look at Heike Savage; he's just about done on Miramana, almost there. He's gonna get it in the next few minutes. And we're still waiting on 200-ish here for Nuclear, and it's just like we see Gluten-Free Panda just kind of smurf that fight, really doing fantastic. The phase rush allowing so much movement speed. Where is Frost Force in this game? Where's the Lilia? Where's our good champion?
Looking for Nuclear. Looking for Nuclear. This could be a big thing, though. He's going to use the Killer Instinct to be able to get out of harm's way. It's only going to be a Drowsy that's going to be put onto the Lulu. Had the Wild Growth, so it's going to take a while to turn him on down. It's going to be the Call to Forge guy coming in as the Shockwave was able to connect onto 2 members. Frost Force under half HP is going to back it on up. That is the Lulu taken down. Is that the trigger for them to pull? They are pinging onto the Baron. May possibly look to see if they can get it or bait it. And it looks like bait. No, it's going to be some recalls coming out.
No, oh my God! If they go for the bush, the death bush, it's very possible.
Looking for something possibly. Not going to grab Gluten. If they grab Gluten, I would definitely say go for it. But it looks like it is just going to be the recall, as you see Illinois playing smart, pushing out this mid lane.
Yeah, they just want to have mid priority to themselves. Make sure that they can get something. I take a look at this and I'm deeply afraid here for Harrisburg. Yet again, Heike Savage feels like he's on an island. You take a look at this gold right now, and it is just like, all right, so Heike Savage, we saw this last split. He's a great performer individually. He has the gold advantage in his favor versus Drew Dozer, but like the rest of his team is like not following up. Even with a 2,000 gold lead for Rand, it doesn't feel like it. A lot of this is actually being based on how Nuclear is able to position in a lot of his fights. We saw in that top lane right there that Nuclear playing on back foot on Kai'Sa is very dangerous. And when Lilia is able to kind of consistently apply pressure is when we see this champion start to thrive. But when Nuclear and Drew Dozer have perfect positioning and are able to do what they want, it kind of feels like Harrisburg don't have a lot of tools to be able to lock them down and start to punish them.
Yeah, it's a scary scenario for you to be in if you're on the side of Harrisburg when you have this kind of a gold lead yet again and find yourself in a similar situation yet again. See what they'll be able to do. Looks like they're controlling this Baron pit very effectively. Something to take note of, Illinois have not taken a single tower. So a lot of this gold is actually from the towers too that we're seeing, because it's 4-0 in terms of towers. And they definitely got them on that game. Definitely showing a good level of macro, but not able to really pull out these team fights the way they want to, it feels like. It feels like they just don't have that control just yet.
So even with a Baron, I don't think that, even if it's a full ace and they get Baron, I don't think Illinois will be able to clear the game. And that's just because of these structures that you brought up. Mm-hmm. Look at, I mean, they're relatively healthy. Top lane is 80% HP. Bot lane is like 60. Mid lane's the closest. And even then, it is not very easy to take. To be fair, again, they do have a Camille and an Orianna, which do fantastic damage to these structures.
Yes.
But it's like you're really like biting, like chewing on like basically edges here to try and get something. They might be able to break open an inhibitor. I don't think death timers are long enough to try and break open a lot of the base and open up maybe the inhibitor, just the entire inhibitor itself to get super minions. So they need to be getting these lanes in good positions. So far, Harrisburg has done a fantastic at wave management. And I think that that's where a lot of this gold is going to be hidden behind when it comes to making sure they keep their advantage.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that, man. You're seeing how they're doing this. Even if they lose a Baron or something like that, they still have a way. And the Shockwave does not hit onto Heike Savage. They went for a big play there, and if Heike got even tapped by that, that was his end of him. We're going to see Drew Dozer go to sleep, but he's going to get woken up by the very beginning part of the Call of the Forge God. Drew Dozer taking a good amount of damage, is going to be immediately melted down as Aya's looking to play some damage up. This is a key moment. Camille taken off the board. And now they're just looking to go towards the straight. They want to deny this Mountain Soul.
Just wait. I don't know what Illinois is doing. They're like, we must fight now. After the Oriental misses, you're calling it off. You're
yeah. Gluten is going to be looking to do a little bit more damage there. They are able to put a lot of hurt back onto him. But over here on the side, Drew Dozer is getting jumped onto by High Key Savage. He's going to be jumping on forward, but it's going to be the shutdown that goes over. High Key taken out. Devson is not going to be able to connect. Drew Dozer is going to be able to stay golden and get up out of harm's way. Frost is going to get an excellent job on that, but the polymorph comes in so clutch. The Leandres is going to be enough to burn down Drew Dozer. And while this is all happening, Gluten's still alive. No ace there. But what a fight to pop off after that mountain. But here comes that Dag with a TP behind. We'll go ahead and take out Zaya. And ladies and gentlemen, it's chaos incarnate is what this game is.
Yeah, they're getting some of the objectives, but at what cost? I mean, Harrisburg staying a little bit too much on the map. We saw Rand, like you said, just get punished immediately by Dat. But
yeah, they're looking for more. He's going to be the Orin. He's going to be able to get a fabulous knockup there. Going to go golden, keep himself alive for a little bit longer, and will be able to survive due to that. And because of the Orange great defense there, I don't know if they actually grab this. Yeah, they will be able to grab this. So the first tower goes up to Illinois.
Oh, thank God. Okay, just grab the turret and leave.
Oh, Gluten!
No.
Gluten! He gets tapped by the culling. That's a shutdown. That's your jungler dead, Illinois. You might have had the game in your hands, but it looks like it's going to be Harrisburg looking to take it back and get that momentum in their favor.
Still is a 4,000 gold lead. I don't know how. I just so much.
Looking for something. He's going to be able to connect the flag as Drew Dozer walks a little bit too close to the sun there. He's going to go to sleep. He's going to find himself hit by the Belling's blade. It's going to be now the Call of the Forge guy going to be able to connect onto the Orn there. But over on the side, that going to be able to get a fantastic stun. That's going to be 2 kills that get turned around. The Lulu being able to pick them up as it's just going to be that flashing out of harm's way. Is going to be able to take that swirl seed. It's going to take a huge amount of damage. That's going to be the stun that connects on the High Key Savage, but it's going to be Nuclear looking to drop their HP bars as quick as possible. Messiah is going to be able to pick it up. Now it's Frost Force. He's getting dropped down. He's got the little lance onto him. It's going to be Drew Dozer picking up the kill. It all started with him getting caught, and he will be able to secure the kill at the end. That was a 3-for-3 there in that fight.
When was Dragon? I just want to make sure. When was Dragon taken? Because, like, that was the longest fight humanly possible. We've been fighting for upwards of 2.5 minutes straight. I mean, I was really impressive. That's a lot of gold being kind of just, like, juggled between each other. Now it's down to 3,000. A little under. Never mind. We're back at 4,000.
To answer your question real quick, Dragon was officially taken at 25 minutes. We're 28 minutes into the game now. So that's 3 minutes of just fighting on, I would say fighting off cooldown, but it's also the cooldown of the death timers that we're considering here.
All right, they're just like, all right, we're fighting again, boys. We're coming out of stasis and we're just immediately going for it. I mean,
I thought that was Baron. I thought there was.
I know everyone's gonna love hearing this, but ultimately, nothing happens here. The best part about this is that now Nuclear has a lot of gold and has finished his 3 items, so he's caught up with Ran. He is still down 3,000 gold, but Ran has some component items right now. He's sitting on.
Oh, Baron. Yeah. Baron's been started.
Yeah.
This is getting burned down pretty quickly. You got double AD carry. You got double marksman. You can burn this. They're peeling off of the Baron, though. They say, no, we do not want to go for it. They go immediately looking for the pick. The Baron is still aggroed. It is still free hitting onto the member of Harrisburg here. They're still looking for more here. Baron is still aggroed. High Key Savage are taking free damage. They got to get out of there as they have been pushed off by Illinois.
I mean, that just took forever. I don't know why. Like, they just need to force something. You have Lilia, for crying out loud. Like,
Lilia Orn.
Exactly. You have Lilia Orn. It's like as soon as they even step into that chokehold near blue buff, it's go time, baby. We're pressing the Orn horn. We're calling in Lilia lilting lullaby. It's go time, baby. Like.
I feel like we're seeing counter synergy here, though, because every time Lilia's put somebody to sleep, the very beginning part of the Call of the Forge is waking them up.
it's useless.
They need the center, like, call out when you're using your ult, please. Orin and Lilia gotta have that synergy. They're being a little counterproductive with their team. They could CC chain, but they're running all over each other.
Okay, wait. They could trade Mountain Soul for Baron, and it's completely worth it. So this is actually putting Illinois in a very dangerous spot, saying, "Hey, which one do you want to give up?"
We have Baron. Get caught out. Call the Forge guy coming on in. They're looking for the catch. They're jumping onto the Lulu. The Colleen's going to be able to come out. High Key Savage is going to be able to pick up that kill. That's going to be the killing spree. Drew Dozer's going to take a good amount of damage as there comes the Lullaby coming on in. That's going to be looking for the catch onto Frost over here onto the side. Drew going to be able to kite this one out. A fantastic Gluten getting shot by the Death Sentence. It's going to be the Redemption coming on in.
Oh, Rand?
It will be fine and dandy, and there's no casualties. Now it's the Mountain Drake, and they're just turning their attention back at it. They still want to continue to make sure that this Mountain Soul does not go over to the side of Illinois.
There's some good health bars here on the side of Illinois. They can look for a return fight here. Dat can reset. So can Drew Dozer. They both have TP coming up. If not, they just sit in mid lane, push this out, and potentially get themselves an advantage.
Possible catch. They're looking for it. They're jumping onto the Ornn. He flashes, doesn't want to collect the lantern, and says that's K. It's going to drop down to under half HP, but that's fine when you're an Ornn. It will back up, and this will look to be a possible reset. They're caught on a little bit of a weird flank here. Descent is going to be able to connect onto Drew Dozer. Ike Savage looking for that shot onto him, lay out a little bit of damage, but goes golden. It's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's a lot of
So technically, we haven't stopped fighting since the dragon.
Yes, we haven't stopped fighting. We've gone from dragon to dragon with non-stop fighting. Fun fact there, that fight that lasted for so long, that lasted for 2 whole minutes, only 1 kill happened, and it was the Lulu at the very beginning.
So here's the, I don't, like, if I'm Ran right now, I'm playing it as aggressively as I can. Yes. You have flash, you have heal, and you've had stopwatch for a long chunk of time here. I'll actually take a look. He's about 1,200 gold, a little bit higher, but it's like, why is my Isaiah not as soon as that ultimate from Orianna comes out, boom, you're playing as aggressively as possible and you're looking for something, because so far what we've seen in a lot of these fights is the Lilting Lullaby sometimes has a little bit of dysenergy, but the sleeps are really massive, and Nuclear is actually so squishy in a lot of these fights that Kaisa is kind of running low on utility in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things where Nuclear is not able to really have that big effect. It is a little bit behind in terms of the Zaya in comparison to the Zaya. And wait a second, there's going to be a sleep coming on in. Call the Forge guy coming on through. That's going to be a TP. That's going to be immediately done. But CJ, he misses up. He doesn't headbutt it. It's not going to be them being able to force the engage. The box was dropped as well. Here we go. That is going to flash on forward. Goodbye, High Key. He goes golden. Will he be able to outplay this? The answer is no. That going to be able to get that big shutdown for himself. Push shot going to be used. He's going to re-engage. It's going to be able to jump onto the Zaya. It's going to be Frost over onto the bat side. Rand's going to be able to pick its skill onto that. That is going to be another kill that goes over to Nuclear, though. He gets knocked up by the Ornn. Gluten is over here onto the side trying to see if he'll be able to find a way in, while Nuclear is just free shotting over here. CJ not going to be able to see anything. He's got smoke inside his eyes. Got the phase rush propped onto the Graves as he's going to look to run away with it, and they are going to back up. And that was a 1-4-2 in favor of Illinois. CJ dropped down so very low.
Travis, I think we're seeing a Christmas miracle here. That was the first time I've seen Dat sit in a side lane for longer than 15 seconds. I'm shocked. Not only that, he also got his flank off as well. They're going to be able to start up this Baron. Drew Dozer is incredibly low. I don't think Orianna is going to be able to contribute to this fight.
Shockwave doesn't connect onto anybody. They're going to be able to jump in. That's going to be the blind that connects onto the Zaya. Lots of damage being put onto him. That's good collateral. It's going to be taken out. Nuclear is free to hit away a triple kill for Nuclear, and that's going to be the Baron, and that is going to be the side of Illinois completely for the first time grabbing the gold lead for themselves.
There we go, and Nuclear is online, ladies and gentlemen. And it took 30 minutes. It took a little bit of a dangerous
triple kill.
Yeah, it took a little bit more than last game, but he's online and they're playing around him. Kaisa has come online and is absolutely shredding this team. I don't know what Ran is doing.
I just looked at the stopwatch to see if it was used. And it was
there. There it is.
It's still there.
My greatest enemy. He's like looking at you in contempt right now. He's like I honestly, like, I'm zoomed in on the map right now. My face is inside my monitor. I'm just looking at the stopwatch. He's just looking at me like the evilest grin. It's so like, why do we have stopwatch? Why buy the 600 gold item if we're not going to use it?
Yeah. I 100% agree with you on that one.
Oh.
And it looked really good, too. The lantern to pull him in. Now it's up to the side of Harrisburg to figure out a way to kind of shore up their weaknesses here. We got Mountain Drake spawning in a minute here. And, now, oh, man, they have the inside track. Illinois has the track in favor of themselves here.
I'm going to go for my most backhanded compliment. Harrisburg impressed me with how small they make really large gold leads feel. Because they had 9,000 and it felt great, and then it didn't. And then they had like 5,000 for most of this game, like, and especially between bot lane, you had a 3,000, 4,000 gold lead on AD carry, and you just, man, that's really painful.
Oh man, wait a second. We're seeing that the Lilia trying to see if he can catch anything. Frost doesn't catch the members that he wants there, so isn't going to pull the trigger on that. Nuclear is scary with this Orianna ball on him, by the way. You're going to be able to connect with this, and is it the engage they want? No, it is not. Drew Dozer is a very tanky member with that Seraphs and the Hourglass, and not going to go forward with that any further. But they want to fight for this Mountain Drake, but it's gone. That's Soul.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul the Forge got coming in. CJ looking for something, says back off. This is my lane. Hits Drew Dozer. Nothing else to come out of it.
It's a love tap. It's a warning shot. It's like, hey, you know, we're just gonna protect this. And they have Baron here. So where is Harrisburg? And
they're backing. They just reset.
I mean, they got caught off on this really weird push in mid lane. Hikey Savage should have been the only one there. And now they just give a tower bot side. They're gonna protect this inhibitor turret.
They get some damage onto Drew. The Ignite is there. He's burned down quite a decent chunk there, but all the shields make it look like it's nothing. Destin is going to be able to connect again. He's going to go gold and make sure he's going to be able to stay safe. Redemption going to be able to keep the rest of the team alive and well. That's over here on the side. Got put to sleep, so isn't going to be able to get the flank that they needed. Orianna finding himself going down. And wait a second, the Killer Instinct to come on in. Nuclear has the shield, so it looks like he didn't take any damage at all. But Frost with a very timely Hourglass there to keep himself alive.
Yeah, now this kind of feels like Illinois. They're getting a little bit hyphy. They're like, oh, guys, we can go under turret. Yes, it's like no,
Drew. I think Drew was just standing. I don't know if he was disconnected, but he was just standing still. It's like one of those awkward moments where the streamer tries to flex on stream and it goes wrong.
He's like, oh, wait, guys, hold up, wait. When you're really far up in a position, you're like, guys, watch this. It's like, oh, wait, stop watching, please.
turn the stream off, Cut it off.
Hey, lag? You just start spamming your Discord mic. You're like, whoa. I'm lagging. But so the important thing here for Harrisburg is how they play around Hikey Savage. Frost Forest, I think, in the back half of this game on Lilia has actually been really impressive. We saw that last fight. Most important thing that happened there for Harrisburg is actually stop Dat from getting into the back line. Yeah. He's trying to find this hook shot across from Fog near in the jungle, and immediately just puts him to sleep. Now, I don't think we're going to be using the Lilting Lullaby to try and do any meaningful damage, and more likely it's going to just be the sleep, the CC, making sure we can stop and at least try to make this fight as uneven for as long as possible.
I think that's a good way to do it because we've seen that the Orin and the Lilia have been showing counter synergy with each other with their ultimate abilities going together. I think that if you use one to stop somebody from doing something and one to engage, I think that's might actually be the ideal scenario for Harrisburg at this point in the game because they've been having trouble kind of doing that CC chain and whatnot in favor of themselves. So I have to see how they do with Mountain Salt on the table. Still, this does make it a pretty difficult scenario if you're over on the side of Harrisburg. That shield is actually pretty nice. Gives them a little bit of an HP advantage going into these fights, and there's little extra resistances. I guess come into play too big, but
yeah, I mean they don't have anybody that's building massive amounts of resistances, so that's like the best part there for Harrisburg, right? Like you don't have anybody building tank. If this was Ornn with Mountain Soul, he already has 2 Mountain Drakes under his belt. That alongside his passive with the amount of stats that he's getting, it's just kind of ridiculous. Yes. But I mean, it's not. I don't think it's going to be the saving grace. There is a lot of damage that's up front coming up from the side of Harrisburg, and I wouldn't be surprised if I don't think personally the Mountain Soul is going to do all that much. But what I will say here is this Elder Drake, as per all Elder Drakes, is more than likely. I don't think the Baron is going to be the one that. It's got to be one of these objectives.
Oh, Nuclear has to flash in the mid lane yet again. Hikey Savage really dictating the pace by chunking out Nuclear.
Thank you, High-Key Savage. Don't let these guys do what they want. As soon as they make a simple mistake like that, punish it. And they get the TP. So Mr. Marquez is doing as much as he humanly can right now to try and keep his team in the game.
He is literally like trying to put his team on his back right now. 7-4-8. He is trying. Yo, wait, that's going to be a good death sentence to connect. That taking a good bit of damage off of the redemption is going to be there. Going to go golden, is going to try and keep himself safe, but there's going to be the drowsy going over there in the back side. Camille is going to be going for the flank over on the back as well. Going to be able to take out High-Key Savage while the fight is happening over inside the mid lane. Nuclear getting dropped down very, very low. Is going to be able to stay alive. No other members getting down except for Camille. Did blow the GA of Lucia. Oh, High-Key!
Oh my God, High-Key Savage, please. This is why I love this man.
Get in his backpack, ladies and gentlemen. He will take you to the Nexus, says High-Key on this Lucian in the mid lane. Absolutely fantastic pick. Gives them the Baron. This could be what Harrisburg needs to try and take control back of this game.
Yeah, and this Baron's actually really, obviously it's great for them. They'll be able to push in some of these waves. It's going to be very awkward for them to use because they also have Elder Drake coming up. And I think it's going to be very imperative. And I think it's very clear to everybody that Illinois is going to try and step up for this Elder Drake. They have a Kaisa and a Camille who do this very quickly. Mm-hmm. So the Baron is probably not going to get too much use when it comes to taking away some of these lanes and trying to push into the base for Harrisburg. But, I mean, that sleep from Frost Forest was absolutely game-changing right there. Mm-hmm. Just sleeps 3 members, and Camille versus the GA just can't do anything.
Better jungler than Hector, man. What can I say? But
I guess it must be a jungle difference. It must be jungle difference.
Just jungle diff. Just jungle diff.
It's jungle champ diff, I guess. My bad. I love it.
But we are seeing Elder Drake coming into play here. 15 seconds until it is up. Both teams knowing and recognizing that this is such a huge condition for both of them to be able to pick up the W here. Devson is not going to be able to connect onto the Lulu here. They're trying to see if they'll be able to fight their way into this. This is a double 80 carry, man. There is a Camille on the flank. They did ping it out. They said, be careful. This guy is over here. Zaya is trying to guard against the Camille. I don't know if that's advisable, but is looking for it. They're doing a slow start to this Elder Drake. They've gone ahead and started it. Scuttle was secured by the side of Illinois. What will be the fight? What will be the decision? Call the Forge guy coming on in. Who they're going to be able to connect onto? They're only going to be able to connect onto the Graves. They're looking for it. The flank coming on over into the backside. Headset going in. It's going to be huge. Nuclear is going unstoppable. He's got the killer instinct. He's jumping in, laying out heaps and heaps and heaps of damage. He's going to be able to find a double kill. He's going to be able to find himself a triple kill. And they're going to be able to find the ace. And they're going to be able to end the game.
Jesus, man. That insane ultimate from Drew Dozer. I mean, put him to sleep, man. That's the true dose, right? And I mean, I just completely rips it apart. It says, nice, you have a Baron? Well, cool. Now you're going to waste some of it on this Elder Drake, and you're going to lose the game because of it. So 43 minutes. Illinois are going to close out yet another game kind of snatched away from Harrisburg. I mean, I have nothing else to say. I mean, Nuclear was putting out as much damage. No one was able to stop Kaisa early enough. And that was a amazing game. I will say that a lot of that was very close, and some of that was positioning coming out from Harrisburg not being the absolute cleanest. However, I mean, that was really just Harrisburg. What's up, man?
Harrisburg has had a game now. They've had 2 games where they had a huge lead. They had a 9K lead in game 1 that they eventually lost from. And then they had, I believe, it got up to a 7K lead inside of game 2 that they eventually lost from. And I think the biggest thing, you were talking about some of the different ways that Illinois won. I honestly just think it was the team just having better communication. We can't hear the comms, of course, but just looking at the synergy, the way that the ultimate abilities were used from both sides, the way that they were using flanks. This is a Camille that has spent, you called it out earlier in the game. Camille maybe spent 15 seconds in the side lane at a time and was constantly flanking, constantly being the damage, and honestly was just looking to just stun the carries. That way the rest of the team could carry. And Drew Dozer pulling out the Shockwave. We all know how Orianna works. You lock in the champion, it only takes one Shockwave, one chance is all you need to be able to turn the fight. And Drew Dozer has a hero play at the end there. I mean, absolutely fantastic game coming out from the side of Illinois. They got some things to work on, but I mean, you got to give them credit.
Storm feels very strong, and however, a little disjointed. I will chalk it up to being the beginning of the season, and they made a very great run at HeFest. I can't take that away from them. I want to see a few things changed. I still think this is a very strong team considering what we saw pre 20-25 minutes. But I don't know, man. This was like, I think Frost Forest had 2 really great games. I think a lot of people may contest game 1 because of how many resources he got, but I think that the Lilia he did a great job on this time around.
Did the most damage on his team.
Yeah, Heike Savage as well, a
hard carry.
MVP for his team in both of these games, and even ran as much slack as I was giving him. Did like an all right job, but there needs to be some work in some of these lanes. And like you were saying, we saw a lot of some really great communication, or at least a lot of really great teamwork come out from the side of Illinois to try and claw back, because that's really one of the great ways you can try to come back when you're really far behind, is you have to have well-coordinated team fights and specifically playing around the map. I think, early game was a little bit questionable for the lane swaps, but
they got to figure that out. They got to figure that out. I feel like if you go against some of the other teams inside this group, you got to fix that kind of mistakes.
Sure.
I like you saw that when they stayed in the bot lane, he actually had just enough gold to finish his Manamune. Like that's a big thing to take note of, is you had the Camille that overstayed after the lane swap had happened. I got enough gold from the assist that was granted by the Orianna to finish Triforce. They are having their timings actually really bad, and I think that's something that they're going to have to fix. Their timings, the way they're playing, their early to mid, their macro definitely has to be improved. But if you were to name somebody to be your MVP here, I think you and me would both be in agreement here, Auk, on who we would both choose.
It has to be Nuclear. No?
Yeah.
Has to be Nuclear. I mean, yeah, I would. This guy had a great performance. His laning phase was pretty well timed for the most part in both of these games, and I am excited to see this group because we have seen now 2 teams that, in expectation, that are very, very good in the early game. In Illinois and hopefully Mirage off camera, I am looking forward to see what exactly happens in this group, especially now that we've seen that Illinois come into this late game are just beasts when it comes to some of these team fights.
I just love the second you start hyping up the team, by the way, your camera just dies. It's like Static Storm comes up, gotta take him out, cut him off, get him out of here. He's just a ghost in the machine. He's a ghost in the shell. And you know what, man? It was a fantastic series. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out and joining us here. If you guys make sure you stay tuned for more Upsurge action throughout the week. Make sure you follow if you haven't already. You'll always see games here at 8 p.m. EST. You got Rocket League, Valorant happens. You got UCL, UML, UPL. There's all sorts of fantastic leagues out here that you can be sure to check out. Next week, you'll see UPL same time with hopefully just another fantastic nail biter of a series. With that being said, that's it for me and Alt here. And we just want to thank you all for coming on in. Make sure you all have a great night, and we'll check you out next time.